for him, please. As he's coming to the podium to deliver the host address. Host, okay. Okay. Well, to deliver the host address, Mr. Adewale Smart. But to Onyeride, the DG NECA, and somebody is here to represent him. Mr. Okpeyemi Adedoyin, Head of ICT. A round of applause for him, please. Let's accord him the same respect as we are going to give the Director General of NECA. Thank you and God bless.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here on behalf of my Director General, Mr. Adewale Smart Oyeride, who has given me this privilege to stand in his stead. And I welcome you to this occasion, and I will be taking his address. So it's an absolute honor and privilege to welcome you all to this World Data Privacy Celebration, a gathering of thought leaders, industry experts, and policy influencers committed to the vital cause of safeguarding personal data and enhancing trust in today's digital economy. At NECA, our advocacy has always been centered on protecting businesses, empowering enterprises, and ensuring a conducive regulatory environment for sustainable economic growth. As the voice of business in Nigeria, we are at the forefront of advocating for digital transformation, ethical business practices, workplace innovation, and regulatory reforms that drive economic progress. In this era of rapid technology advancement, data has become the lifeblood of commerce, governance, and personal interactions. Hence, the need for stronger commitment to data protection, privacy rights, and cyber security. Recognizing the role of NDPC in this regard, I wish to extend our profound appreciation to Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, under the distinguished leadership of Dr. Vincent Olatunji, for its unwavering dedication to ensuring compliance with global best practices on data protection, enforcing regulatory frameworks, and strengthening Nigeria's digital trust ecosystem. Through its efforts, Nigeria has witnessed remarkable strides in the institutionalization of data privacy, setting the pace for responsible data governance across sectors. We would also like to recognize the convener of this event, Mr. Tokumbo Smith. Please, can we put a round of applause for him? Whose visionary leadership, relentless drive have played a key role in making today's gathering a reality. Your commitment to raising awareness and mobilizing stakeholders towards data privacy advocacy is highly commendable. As an institution, NECA remains committed to working closely with the government, regulatory bodies, and businesses to strengthen awareness on data privacy across workplaces and industries. Advocate for balanced regulatory frameworks that protect businesses while upholding individual rights. Equip business with tools and knowledge to achieve compliance with data protection laws. Promote public-private partnerships that drive digital trust and security. Ladies and gentlemen, as we participate in this enriching discussion ahead, including keynote addresses, expert panels, and strategic engagement, let us all take decisive steps in our respective spheres to champion data privacy, enhance consumer confidence, and reinforce trust in our digital economy. Once again, we welcome you all to this impactful gathering. Together, let's advance a safer, more secure digital future for all. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful address by Mr. Adedoyin. Another round of applause for him once again. Please, Mr. Adedoyin, you don't go yet. Now, let me now officially introduce those that will sit at this side of the table. First and foremost, I would like to recognize the DG of NECA, Mr. Adewale Smart Oyeride, ably represented by Mr. Adedoyin. Please, to this side, please. Also to be recognized, Engineer Olaolu Oguntuyi, who is a board member of TYMS. Not yet around. We are still waiting for him. Any moment he is available, we are going to let you know him. And there is one person that if I don't recognize him or I don't call him to the top table, this program is meaningless. And I'm talking of the guest speaker for today, in person of Mr. Tim Akowo. A round of applause for him, please. Keep on clapping on the guest who is seat, please. And the last but not the least, the convener of this program. In fact, as a trainer, as a consultant, in fact, we used to call him the doyen of data privacy and protection in Nigeria. I'm not talking of any other person apart from Mr. Tokunbo Ololuwa Smith. A round of applause for him. This is a man who is an epitome of humility. He can dine and wine with anybody. At times, I used to tell people that it is a real privilege for me to even mingle with him. He would say, no, you are very, I don't discriminate. People like him, they are very rare in our society. Once again, let's give him another round of applause. Mr. Tokunbo Smith, may your shadow never grow less. May your shadow never grow less. We have been doing this thing for the past 10 years, and I want to assure you, he has never failed. Even during COVID-19, we held this program. A round of applause for him once again, please. And also, let me also introduce our panelists to us. Dr. Onokoya. You're welcome, sir. We have Mrs. Ilori there too. A round of applause. And the moderator. A round of applause for him, please. He's the only one who have not introduced himself. So let him introduce himself officially.
Dr. Raphael Akonpe.
Dr. Raphael Akonpe, once again, a round of applause for you once again, please. At least we have known all our panelists, our guest speakers, and what have you. Now, this is the time that the president of this organization will talk. Mr. Tokunbo Smith, we're waiting for your address. Let's keep on clapping until it gets to the podium, please. That is the doyen of data privacy in Nigeria. A round of applause for him once again, not only in Nigeria, all over the world. Mr. Smith, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agbadabosi. I appreciate your efforts over the years. We started everything together. As there's somebody here I also want to appreciate so much. When we started in January 28, 2016, he was one of the panelists as well. And that is Dr. Olakunle Onokoya. Are you stand up for it? Good morning, His Excellency, distinguished hosts, guests, press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure I invite you to the World Data Privacy Day celebration and summit today. We started this celebration in 2016 at Public Service Staff Development Center PSSDC. Today, we also have those who started with us, and that is Dr. Onopole Olokoya. This summit is organized to commemorate World Data Privacy Day globally, promote awareness on data protection, digital rights, compliance culture, responsible data governance, and digital trust in today's rapidly evolving digital environment in Nigeria and globally. The theme of the year is privacy in the age of emerging technologies, trust, ethics, and innovation. Today, as we mark World Data Privacy Day, we are reminded of one simple truth. Privacy is no longer optional. In the digital age, it is essential. We live in a world powered by data. Data drives decision. Data fuels innovation. Data increasingly defines opportunity. But let us be clear. Data without privacy is power without control. As technologies evolve, especially artificial intelligence, the conversation is no longer just about data collection. It is about influence. It is about behavior. It is about how people think, decide, and act. When people feel constantly watched, they don't think freely. They don't question boldly. They don't innovate courageously. This is why privacy is not about hiding information. Privacy is about protecting human dignity, autonomy, and freedom of thought. In the age of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, this matters more than ever. AI does not only analyze data, it shapes our behavior. It nudges choices. It predicts and sometimes influences outcomes. If we build AI without privacy, we create systems that are powerful but untrusted, innovative but feared, efficient but ethically weak. But when privacy is built in by design, all becomes trustworthy. Innovation becomes sustainable. Technology serves people, not controls them. Technology is supposed to serve the people, not to control us. Nigeria has taken an important step with the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023 and Guide 2025. This is a clear statement that privacy is a national priority, but laws alone do not protect privacy. People do. Institutions do. Leadership does. Compliance must go beyond documents and checklists. Privacy must become a culture, not just a regulation. It must be understood in boardrooms, in government, offices, startups, and in classrooms, and in everyday digital interactions. So today, on Data Privacy Day, my call is simple. To government, continue strengthening enforcement and public trust. To organizations, embed privacy and ethics into your system. To professionals, treat privacy as a core ethical duty. To innovators, build technology that respects human agency. And to citizens, demand accountability for how your data is used. Let us remember this: no privacy, no free thinking, no trusted innovation. As we mark Data Privacy Day today, let us recommit to building a digital future where technology empowers people, protects rights, and earns trust. Protecting personal data means protecting Nigerians. The responsibility belongs to all of us. I am very confident that you will learn, enjoy, and network at today's celebration and summit. We have experienced, exposed, seasoned professionals who will share their experiences and on this year team. I want to appreciate the host, DG, Mr. Adewale Smart. He called us last year and said he want to partner with DKIPPI. We also want to recognize Dr. Vincent Olatunji, the National Commissioner. We've been together right from the days he was at NIDA. He was then the director of eDigital. We have been working together. And I told him that day that one day you are going to head data privacy one way or the other, as if I was prophesying into his life. And eventually, e-governance was moved from NIDA and they started Nigerian Data Bureau. That was in 2024. I said, the Data Bureau, they have no legal backing. So what we are doing, we are just wasting time. There was a time Nigeria was supposed to access 550 million grants, but because we never had any backing, that was why Nigeria Data Protection Commission was embarked by Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023. So 2023, June 12, I see June 12 as a day of liberty. Why? Because that is the day I believe I can sue anybody who abuse or misuse my personal data. So you are all free. Just like freedom of information. I want to also appreciate, I'm still appreciating Nigeria Data Protection Commission because we have a partnership agreement, that is Data and Knowledge Information Privacy Protection Initiative. We have a partnership agreement with them. And this is running now over a year. And they have been supporting, we have supported them a lot. We have done a lot of things together. And that took me to United Kingdom, whereby I represented Nigeria Data Protection Commission at the High Commission in UK. And I gave them a free lecture on data protection. And also, we've done a lot. We have established clubs at tertiary institutions on behalf of Nigeria Data Protection Commission. We have also organized quiz debates. Yesterday we had the debates for secondary schools. And one of them came first. That school came first yesterday. And they were giving them their due prizes, and all the schools that represented were there yesterday will be given a plaque. Last year, they came first last year as well. They were here last year. So I appreciate your teacher who has been coaching you. Is the teacher around for recognition? But you can't do it low. Oh, the teacher is around. Without the teacher, it's not like football man. Without a good coach, no team will win. So I also want to appreciate somebody who brought me into information technology. That was 1972, when my mother said, I just finished a course in UK. And there is a profession that will rule the world. Tokumbo, go and do that profession. Go into it, that computer will rule the world. And today it's not ruling the world. She told me in 1972 that that profession, I just finished a course on it, is going to rule the world. Today there's nothing you want to do that you will not do with computer. Yes or no? I want to appreciate my family, my children. They have been very supportive. None of them is around because they are not in this country. But my wife is around. It's not this Mrs. Ola Inka Smith. So many times I have had cause to disagree with her. When I'm writing proposals, if she's talking to me, I don't listen to her. When I'm writing proposals, I said, look, I am doing brainstorm. But when you want to write proposal or I'm doing research, I want 100% concentration. So many times I will wake up 12 midnight and I will not sleep till 3 a.m. They go and sleep this morning. I said, don't worry. Even this morning, when I woke up around 1 a.m., she was asking me, won't you sleep? I will sleep. By 3 a.m., I'll sleep again. So she's been enduring a lot. And she has been very supportive. She will say, have you done this? Even as this morning, have you done this? Have you put this in place? I said, don't worry. The committee is doing everything. I also want to appreciate Dr. Nokoya. He's my pastor. He is my pastor in the church. He's also the chairman of Redeemed Christian Church of God entire hospital of 300 beds. He is the chairman of the board of directors. And he has always, also, he was the former medical director of Lagoon Hospital, now Cedar Crest, and he has done a lot of courses. That's why I chose him purposely, because he was one of the people who initiated electronic management records. He's been into privacy and everything. He knows a lot. So when you see him talking today, don't be surprised. And Dr. Akongwe, I also commend you, the moderator of today. We've been doing a lot of things together. And Mrs. Lori, just recently we met. She was introduced to me by the National Commissioner when we launched Yoruba version of Nigeria Data Protection at the Ikeja local government. And the National Commissioner said, Mrs. Lori, come. This is Mr. Spin. Mr. Spin, mentor her. And to my greatest surprise, she has become a certified digital officer. We train her, she passed the exam, and she has been encouraging a lot of people. And she even brought somebody, Dr. Olubanjo, who also will train. She sat for the exam, and she passed with 90-something%. So those of you who want to change your possession, you can become a certified data protection officer, and it's a global qualification. So we have a lot of them like that. I want to appreciate everybody seated here. Without you sitting here, without you coming, everything is zero. So for you to have taken your time to be here this morning, we appreciate you, DKIPPI, and we continue to invite you. Like the paramilitary, we are going to create something for all the paramilitary in Lagos State. We are going to have a quiz, debate, and free lecture for you. We are promising you, we will do it. All the paramilitary. We want to make sure you know a lot about data privacy and protection, because it is your responsibility. Federal road safety, the day I have given them 2 free lectures. That's from 2016. We started giving you free lecture when Zonal Commander Akpabio was there. Zonal Commander Akpabio was at the first inauguration of 2016. So we'll give a lot. We'll do a lot. We'll give back to the community. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. I'm sure you are going to enjoy the thing, the guest speaker today. Man, very well exposed, experienced. He's a man. He has just done something last week. Al-Majiri initiative in Abuja. That all those beggars on the road, he has started teaching them how to repair telephones, how to repair, assemble, so many things. That man is a very great man. Using his own money, is the managing director of New Horizons Limited. They have an IT outfit at the Kejadia. Thank you for coming, and God will bless you. Thank you for listening. So, MC, I'm okay.
Thank you very much. 3 hearty cheers for Mr. Tokumo Smith. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. Thank you very much. A round of applause for you once again, please. Thank you very much. It's always our practice that we recognize people very well. NSDC, please. Introduce your people. NSDC, please.
Yes, thank you so much, moderator. From the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Lagos State Command, we're here to represent their state commandants, Mr. Adidotun Sunday Keshiro, who has graciously asked us to join in this event. I'm also leading the team. I am Superintendent of Corps Oluwaseun Abolori. I'm the Public Relations Officer of the Command. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Morning, everybody. I am Assistant Superintendent of Ola Oshisami.
Good morning. I'm aware you more sir. ASC1.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ifeanyi Emmanuel. I'm an assistant superintendent of call.
Good morning. I'm Adekomi Olubenga Ibukonlua, Deputy Superintendent of Call.
Thank you very much. Also, to the top table, we have the Deputy President of Nigeria Computer Society in our midst. Mr. Charles, please, to the high table. You're welcome. Mr. Justus Osuji, please, to join the panelists, please. Mr. Justus Osuji. Where is he? Okay. Mr. Justus Osuji. And also to join us at the top table here, Engineer Gilbert Olaoluwa Oguntuyi, a board member of TYMS. DKIPBS. DKIPS, okay. Engineer Oguntuyi, please, to the high table, please. A round of applause for him, please. You're welcome. Always smiling. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, thank you. All the students, please come out. Students, please come out. No, not you. Those that have not, okay. Those that have just come. Please come out. Come out. Come out and introduce yourself. Come out. The young shall grow. Abi? And we say they are the future leaders of tomorrow. Please tell us your name, the name of your school, and what you intend to study.
My name is Anu Oluwapo Fagunro. I'm in GS3. I'm from T-Tops College. I came to learn about data privacy and protection in Nigeria. I want to study computer science.
Good day, everyone. My name is Yem, and I'm Divine from T-Tops College, and I came here to study about data privacy, and I want to become a computer scientist and a lawyer in future.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Raimi Azimba. I'm 13 years old. I came from T-Tops College. I'm in GS3. I came here to learn about data protection and data privacy, and I want to become a tech engineer in future. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Boloat Fashiono, and I stand here before you to tell you that I have come here to learn on the topic data privacy. I'm from T-Tops College in just 3, and I want to study computer science. Thank you.
Because the guest speaker is already waiting for us. Now, we'll continue the introduction later because the guest speaker is already willing to discharge his presentation. So join me in welcoming the guest speaker of today, Mr. Tim Akou. You are welcome, sir. Continue to clap for him until he gets to the top team.
Good morning, everyone. Are we all happy to be here today? Okay. We are celebrating World Data Protection Day, and it's been celebrated all over the world. This will be my second time of being invited as a guest speaker. I think the first time was about 3 years ago, the one we had at LCCI. Yeah. There are not many things in the country that individuals start and it continues to grow from strength to strength. One of the few things we see individuals starting in Nigeria that have been growing from strength to strength is this event. On that basis, please let's recognize Mr. Tokumbo Smith for his persistence and consistency. You know, most times we don't appreciate people when they are around. It's only when we don't see them again that we appreciate. But we appreciate what you are doing, Mr. Tokumbo Smith. Well done, sir. All right. I also want to appreciate all of us that are here today. Dr. Nokoya, we are so much appreciated. Yeah, madam is my doctor, so my regards to her. And all the students who are here, I'm so happy to see you. You are the future of Nigeria. You are the future of our country. So whatever we want to say here, you are the one that will benefit most from it. So I want you to pay attention very well. I've heard a lot of you. Somebody say wants to be a computer scientist. He still wants to be a lawyer. All those things are possible. So you can combine. You can do. We have people do 4 degrees, and then it makes them better. So whatever you want to do, I say yes to your dream. So and every morning you wake up, tell yourself yes to my dreams. Yes to my. I was in NYC yesterday to give a lecture, and that's one of the things I taught them, that the success rate in life is about 5%. See, from primary school, if Dr. Nokoya's check now, the people we started primary school with, where are they now? Only 5%. The people you started secondary school with, only 5%. So success rate in life is about 5%. So it's my prayer that you are going to be among the 5% in your generation that will succeed. And our people in uniform, I saw you 3 years ago too. I'm happy that you are committed to data protection. So NYC, I was at your Yanakwaja yesterday. I don't know how many of you are there. So I'm also happy to see you. Everyone, you are all welcome. I was asked to speak on an interesting topic: privacy in the age of emerging technologies, trust, ethics, and innovation. Well, I will go through, I just prepared 7 slides. I woke up around 2 a.m., like my practice. I don't go to any lecture until I have something fresh to tell them. And I don't go back to my past lectures. I do it every day. Up to 6 p.m. yesterday, I didn't have a clear direction of what to say today. Although I have a presentation which I already sent to Mr. Smith, but I always want to have something fresh. So by 2 a.m., God wake me up, and he started explaining to me what to share with you. So what I have here is what God told me to share with you. What I put on my slides are the things I prepared by myself. So I would rather obey God than to obey myself. So that's why you are not going to see the slides. And I promise you it will be interesting. So I will start with definition. And then after definition, I dwell briefly about key relevant data protection agencies around the whole world. And then I'll move to data economy. And then I'll move to key issues pertaining to data privacy. And then my 5th slide here says, seeking truth in the forest of facts. What are the global facts concerning what we're here to do today? And then number 6, I said the road ahead. How do we navigate data privacy successfully? And then I bring it to conclusion. So when we talk about definition, the first definition we need to trash out is, what do we mean by data privacy? What do we mean by data privacy? It talks about, is a technical and operational word. It talks about ability of you as a person to determine by yourself, for yourself, when, how, and to what extent your personal information should be collected, stored, or used, or shared, or communicated to others. It's a technical and operational word which says you having decisive control on how your data, when is it collected, how is it collected, how is it stored, how is it communicated with you and to others. That is when you say you have privacy. And when you take that as a concept in context of what is happening in Nigeria today and in the world, you realize that data privacy is still evolving. We are not yet there. Because when we talk about your information includes your name, your location, your contact information, your online behavior, but most importantly, that is new now, your thoughts. We have technology today that can perceive and determine your thoughts. So when we get to that stage that I can wear a Google Glass and I can see what you are thinking about me. You don't like my blue dress, or you like my blue dress, or you don't like my face, or you like my face, or you don't like my haircut, or you like my haircut. Then data privacy will become an elusive thing. So that's the definition. Your ability to determine when, how your data is collected, used, and communicated with others. And today your data is being communicated to others without you knowing. And your data is everywhere. Your data is in telecom, your data is in the bank, your data is in NEC, your data is in JAMP, your data is in WAEC, your data is all over. So do you have that control? That's what we are here to discuss today. And that's what is being discussed all over the world. In India, it's something like this is also going on. In Europe, something like this is going on simultaneously, because it's very important to the future of our economy. So when we talk about emerging technologies, what do we mean? What are the emerging technologies? Number one, we talk about artificial intelligence. One of the young students there said, you want to be an AI expert. Fine. That's a great line. If you can even go into OpenAI, if you Google OpenAI expert now, the real expert, they earn up to $1 million per month in the US now, because we don't have many of them. Those are the guys who work in ChatGPT. Those are the guys who work in Google AI as well. That's one of the hottest skill in the world that you can have today. So AI is one of the emerging technologies. Number two is IoT, Internet of Things. Globally today, we have about 75 billion devices that are connected. This speaker is connected to television. This AC connected to this speaker. This AC is connected to the kitchen. So there are 75 billion devices that are connected globally. That's IoT. It is through the power of chips that those things are connected. And then we talk about ubiquitous biometrics. The biometrics does not require your permission to take everything you are doing. When you get to the airport, surveillance is there. When you get to hospital, surveillance is there. Sometimes they write it there. Most times they don't write it. So the ubiquitous biometrics is one of the emerging technologies. And then the one that is scary most, and that we have no control over that is going to happen, is what we call the neurotechnology. Neurotechnology. That is the aspect of a technology that will be used to know what you are thinking. Neurotechnology. It's very new. It's there now. Google has done something. Some other people have also done something. But it doesn't come to the mainstream. But it's coming to the mainstream gradually. So that's one of them. And then we have quantum computing. Quantum computing is the ability of computer processor to process whatever is being done today 1,000 times faster. So when Apple tells you, or WhatsApp tells you end-to-end encryption, that whatever you are saying on this WhatsApp chat is encrypted, it's true. But quantum computing has the capacity to break everything that is encrypted. So it is faster 1,000 times than what we have today. So that's emerging technology. So for any of you too who wants to beat, I always tell people, in your generation, the richest man will not be a manufacturer. And I'm going to share a slide with you on that. The richest man will not be a manufacturer. It won't be Dangote. The richest man will be in IT. And he's not going to be 30 years old. He'll be around 22, 24, 21 years old. So get ready to be one of the richest men in Nigeria, in Africa. The age of manufacturing is going. The age of technology has come. And that's the way it is in Europe and in the US. It's still Nigeria that we still have that. But it's going to change in your generation. So get ready. Who wants to be the richest man very soon? Another 10 years. Let me see your hands up. Okay, teacher, you are no more teenagers. We are talking about children. So your children will be among them in Jesus' name. Okay. So we talk about quantum computing. The other one that is also scary. Probably we are going to hear the word for the first time. You've heard of AI, artificial intelligence. AI, artificial intelligence, about machine mimicking human beings. But there's another aspect now of technology which we call synthetic intelligence. Synthetic intelligence or agentic intelligence. Synthetic intelligence means that a machine that can think independently of human being. AI is still using human being. Everything you see on DeepSeek, everything you see on ChatGPT is a consolidation of all the data that exists all over the world to generate answer at the speed of light. But synthetic intelligence is the technology that can think faster than human being, better than human being, and does not seek your permission to start an assignment, whether to kill you or to make you to stay alive, from A to C. That's an aspect of intelligence. That one too is imagined. It's coming. People are already researching to that. And then number 6, we have the biotechnology or gene editing. You've heard of genetic editing. Now that one is being done. Okay, doctor is here. They can edit the DNA of an unborn child. Genetically, they cannot edit it to either make it a superhuman being, or to make it tall, or to make it chubby, or whatever. So that's another aspect of technology that your generation will have to contend with. It's already there. In North Korea, they've done some editing of gene to produce superhuman beings that can think 100% smarter than what I'm doing right now. India too, if you Google it, Indian too have done a lot of DNA genetic editing to produce superhuman beings. So when that time comes, and it's going to be a contest of superhuman beings versus superhuman beings, and only God knows what will be the end result of that. So that's another emerging technology. The 9th emerging technology is 6G, or the next generation connectivity. So 6G, or the next generation connectivity, is 100% times faster than what you have in 5G today. Whatever you see in 5G that do like this when you press your internet, 6G is 100% faster than that. So it gives you real-time, ultra-low latent communication. As it's happening in Turkey, it's happening live all over the world. That's 6G. So there is no more secret. So when you want to, everything itself at the speed of light. South Korea is leader in that one. They are already, South Korea, China. So those two countries, South Korea started it first. China has launched into it. America too has dabbled into it. So that one is coming. And then the 10th one I'll leave with you is spatial computing. That one is industrial metaverse. That is what we call digital twins. You've heard of augmented reality and virtual reality, which means they can create a digital twin of myself. As I'm here now, I can be in Sweden, still talking like this. I can be in Denmark, still talking like this. So that is what we call metaverse. So Facebook is the leader in metaverse globally. So that's another technology that you must take care of. So these are emerging technologies that we need to take care of. Now, the topic also says trust and ethical. The trust means that the confidence users have that their personal information is treated with respect, securely protected, and used appropriately. That's the trust. That do you trust telecom that they will use your data with respect and as you expect them to do? So that's trust. If you don't trust them, then there is no trust. Ethics means that moral principle guiding, governing the collection and storage and processing and sharing of data. This goes beyond legal because you are not there when they want to take the addition. When MTN is taking the addition or banks are taking the addition, you are not there. So this speaks to ethics of an organization, that are they fair to you with your data? And then are they transparent enough? And are they accountable to your data? Because you may give your data to a telecom. A boy in charge of we call them computer administration. They are always small boys. So he can pull out 5 million of that data and sell it for 5 million naira without the knowledge of the organization. So that is what we call accountability. You gave your data to them, but are they accountable? Do they have a system in-house to know when that small boy is pulling out a data of 5 million people? Probably wants to go to Canada, and the immigration and all those things. That's what makes those boys to do that. So they commit the sin. They go to pastor to plead for forgiveness later, and then they don't have that conscience that, okay, it is bad. So innovation now means, in context of all this, how do you innovate? Mr. Smith, when he was talking, he said data protection is not to kill innovation. So it means, how do we innovate in a way that will make you to trust the organization, in a way that will make the organization to be ethical? Because if there is a conversation around gene editing, is it ethical to edit what God has done? What we are saying is that we still want to recreate what God has done. So it speaks to ethics. Some people say no. Some people say, yes, God has given us brain to innovate, so let's continue to innovate. So that's the topic that they asked me to discuss. So it's not an easy topic, but we'll try as much as possible to do justice to that. So briefly, let me go through abbreviations or the agencies that manage data protection all over the world. Number one among them is what we call GDPR. GDPR is for European Union, EU. This is General Data Protection Regulation. Is the strongest today, is the most visible today, and is the commonest one that everybody tries to comply with. Number two, CCPA, that is California Consumer Privacy Act, and CPRA, California Privacy Rights Act. So in California, that's the center of technology in the world, so data privacy is very key to them. Number three is PIPL, that's China. China also has their own, we call it Personal Information Protection Law. So they came out with this around year 2020. And then we have HIPAA, HIPAA. This is for U.S. healthcare. It is Protected Health Information Safeguard. So that is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, 1966. HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. We have the LGPD, which is General Data Protection Law. And we have the DPDPA, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, 2028. And then we have in Nigeria too, Nigeria Data Protection Commission, 2023. And then we have the cross-border, that when you want to take your data from Nigeria to Ghana or from Nigeria to Togo, what are the guidelines? So we have SC square, which is standard contractual clauses that must be there. It's one thing for your data to be secure in Nigeria. It's another thing for your data in motion that is going outside of Nigeria to be secured. So the agency in charge of that is SC square, standard contractual clause. And then we have the BCRS, Bin Laden Corporate Rules. This one is about multinationals, that you can have Coca-Cola, for instance, is a US company. So when they want to transfer data from US to Nigeria, it is this agency that they must comply with. BCR, that is corporate rules, binding corporate rules. So these are a few agencies that actually sit on top of data privacy in the world. So for the youth who are here, who wants to make money, or elders too, who wants to make money, I call this period we have as a data economy. We are in a period of data economy, or what some people call platform economy. And I'll give you 3 examples to illustrate this, and I want the younger ones to pay attention very well. I used to work in manufacturing company. I work in 3 multinationals, in Dunlop, in Unilever, and in Coca-Cola. In those days, these were the richest companies in the world. 30 years ago, 35 years ago, 40 years ago, they are the strongest and richest, especially Coca-Cola. But things have changed, and I will give you some facts. 1, all of us have heard of OPay as an organization. How many of us know that OPay is far bigger than most banks in Nigeria? OPay is far bigger than most banks in Nigeria. For instance, how old is OPay? 8 years old. How old is Union Bank? 108 years old. The father of the people who started OPay, the grandfather, the great-grandfather, they were not born when Union Bank was established 108 years ago. But these are the facts today. OPay has 10 million customers. No, 50 million customers. And 10 million active daily customers. You know all those boys who sell fruit, pineapple, all of them are on OPay. Okay. OPay has 50 million customers and 10 million active daily customers. The market valuation for OPay as of last year was $3 billion. $3 billion. And it has only 17 locations in Nigeria. Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, Imo, only 17. Now, see Union Bank. Union Bank, as before, is delisted now from Nigerian Stock Exchange when it was bought over by private entity. Union Bank, as at the time it was deleted, 2023, its market capitalization was 194 billion naira, equivalent to $1.4 billion. Half of OPay. Half of OPay. And see the customers. After 108 years, Union Bank has 7.3 million customers. After 108 years. Compare with OPay of 50 million customers. 8 years to 108 years. And then Union Bank has 293 branches across Nigeria and 937 ATM centers across Nigeria. So when you had 900 plus 200, that's 1,200 centers across Nigeria. And OPay has only 17. But when you see the market capitalization, this one is 3 billion, this one is 1.4 billion. This one is twice bigger than this one. When you see the age, 8 years versus 108 years, that's case study number 1. Let's see case study number 2, Coca-Cola and Google. When I joined Google, when I joined Coca-Cola, we used to brag about it. We are the largest employer of labor in Nigeria, which was through 10,000 staff as at 1996 when I joined. Globally, Coca-Cola servings per day, today, 2 billion people will drink Coca-Cola. Those servings, 2 billion people. Compare that one with Google. Today, before you go to bed, 5 billion people have already done something or the other on Google. Versus 2 billion or Coca-Cola. How old is Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola is 140 years old. How old is Google? Google is 28 years old. Now, it's getting interesting. What is the market capitalization of Coca-Cola? When I left school, Coca-Cola was the topmost, most capitalized company in the world. They used to say even the logo alone, the worth of the logo alone is far bigger than the size of so many other companies. But today, the market capitalization of Coca-Cola is $300 billion as at 2025. Guess what? The market capitalization of Google is $3.8 trillion. Yes, 10%. How old is Google? 28 years. How old is Coca-Cola? 140 years. Another example, case study. Uber and Avis car renter. So that one, the Avis car renter has been there for years. Today, Uber is 11 years old. 11 years. Two people like you just started. Two guys in US. They just saw car renter. How do we disrupt this? This car renter is only available in US. How can we create something that all over the world they will use it? It's technology. We don't have money to buy cars, and we're not going to go that route. The Uber guys, they own no cars, but they have the largest fleet of cars in the world. See the facts. Uber market capitalization today is $171 billion. Avis car renter that has been in the existence for the past 80 years, the market capitalization is $4 billion. Avis has thousands of cars. Uber has 0 car. What's the difference? Technology. What is Uber selling? Who can tell me among you? What's Uber selling? What are they selling? Data. What's Facebook selling? Data. Facebook today is worth $1.167 trillion. What does it sell? Your data. All those meet me on Instagram. That's money to Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, that's how he makes his money. It's your data. What does Google sell? Data. When you advertise, they already know what you want due to your tracking online. So they put that advert to you. So the more successful they are in guessing you right, the more money in their pocket. And that is why we're here today is all about data. Data is the new economy. Data is the new gold. For any of you who wants to be super rich, I'm not talking about small money, big money. Just think of what you can do with data and which data can you collect that when you harmonize it, it makes sense to so many other people. Then you are in money. Facebook, Google, Instagram, Jeff Bezos, all of them is data. So the data companies have taken over from manufacturing companies. In those days, it used to be oil and gas. So, Mobil, Total, all those ones. Those are the richest ones in those days, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. But the situation has changed. Today is data companies that are the richest in the world. And that's what I've shown you. The topmost 10 companies in the world, Nvidia, that's the number one company to reach $5 trillion. Followed by Apple. Apple is $4 trillion. They are all sitting on data. Yes, they sell some products. Apple sells some products, but data is the key. So when you talk about Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, they are all data driven. Why will Elon Musk buy Twitter for $40 billion? How? What's he looking for? Data. There is nothing in Twitter. He changed the name to let you know it's not the name he bought. If it's the name, he will retain the name. Some people buy something, I want the name. It's not the name. As at that time, Twitter had about 200 million people. And 200 million people, to influence them, you are powerful. And it shows that during the last election in the US. So when Elon Musk show up in any gathering, 200 million people are watching him live. And if this man is the richest man, and is the one saying we should go this way, Who are we not to follow him? So it worked. So the $40 billion worked. And his data, your data is there. Your data are there. Your data is there. I'm on X. It's money for him. I'm on Twitter. It's money for somebody. Now, what are the key issues in data protection today? What are the key issues? I listed 13 issues here, and I will move very fast. Number one, on data protection, we have fragmented regulations across the world. In US alone, we have 19 agencies that are in charge of data regulations. So when there is fragmentation, there is also tend to be what? Confusion. Which one do we obey? Is it GDPR? Is it this one? Is it that one? China has their own. Nigeria has their own. Everybody has their own. So there has not been unanimity of opinion or of decision on one single globally accepted regulation that if you pass this one, you know, the pastors are here. The disciple went to Jesus Christ and he said, these laws are too many. Tell me one that if I obey this one, I've passed. And then Jesus Christ said, love. So for data regulation, we don't have that single word. That's number one challenge. No single data regulation in the world. And it's not an accident. Because Tim Berners-Lee that created internet, he didn't put security inside. Security is an afterthought. It's an afterthought. So when it's an afterthought, it's like in Yoruba land in those days, when they give birth to children, by 8th day, when they want to put mark, Ogunwashon mark or your mark, every 8th day they will put it. Now imagine they give birth to children and the father didn't know that that's the custom. So about 2 years later, now reminded him that, okay, you know, in our culture, we must put marks. So otherwise, if you don't put mark, the child will go away, will die. And then you now take a year of a baby of 2 years old, want to put marks there. How will it stand? That's what is happening to us today with regards to data security or data protection. Data protection is an afterthought. Internet was already built complete. He built it for sharing of information. It was later we now saw that if you share your information with me, what stopped me from selling your information? The weakest point today is the hate people. The hottest data today, the people who chase data most and pay whatever amount of money to buy is in the health sector. Is in the health sector. So all those, they are looking for it. They are looking for your diseases. They are looking for your depression, whether you have depression, so that they know the kind of drug they will recommend. They are looking for barrenness information all over. So when they ask you all those questions, so the health people are behind harvesting it. So number one is fragmented regulation. Number two, aggressive enforcement, especially in Europe. It has Europe, they find Google, they find Microsoft, they find so many companies. Europe is the most aggressive when it comes to data regulation. But people are also crying that aggressiveness is also slowing down innovation. So Google is in trouble in Europe, Microsoft was in trouble in Europe, Apple was in trouble in Europe. So they find them up to the tune of 2.3 billion euros. So it's aggressive enforcement in Europe and non-enforcement in some other countries, like developing world. Like Nigeria now, we don't know how much this data agency commission have fined any organization that has violated your rights. So we don't have that fact on the public space. Number three, erosion of meaningful consent. You see, the data companies need to get your consent before they share your data. But do they do that? No. So there is that erosion of meaningful consent. They don't get your consent. They just share the data, and to them, that's money. And that's what happened during the election of the first Trump 1.0. The company that harvested data on Facebook, they just harvested the data, and they targeted those selected people to market Trump to them and it equally worked. So, number 4, rising shadow AI tool. There is AI tool now we call shadow AI. Shadow AI tool. Shadow AI tool can penetrate whatever security anybody has in place and harvest the data for commercial purposes. Number 5, third-party vendor. This is the weakest point of all organizations. You know, every organization has suppliers. You have vendors that you work with. When you are secured, it's like a doctor now working in the clinic. He has face mask, is protected. But the client that works with him may not be that protected. The pharmacies that sell drugs to him may not be that protected. So if that pharmacy that goes there to sell drugs to the protected doctor has some virus, that virus also can affect the doctor. And that's why a lot of organizations insist that all their vendors must also have a level of cyber compliance, cyber security compliance, like ISO 27701. So when you have that, you are a bit strong. Number 6, operational pressure on team, shrinking head counts, high staff turnover. I know some of us, you will be aware about 2 years ago, 4 years ago, some banks in Nigeria, they went down. Why? We've had situation whereby in a whole department of a bank just resigned. I won't mention the name of any bank. The entire department just resigned and went to Canada. Some went to Australia. So that's when they say, it's glitches. You want to transfer money, they say, that bank is not working again. What's happening to this bank? Is because of high staff turnover. Why? We have more opportunities abroad, and the money they pay them is probably 5 times what they earn in Nigeria. So they just even don't bother to resign again. They just take off on a Saturday, and then when they get to India, they write the employer, please find a space for yourself in your life to forgive me. I'm already now in Canada. So, and they are not coming back. So it's not that I'll wait for you. When you come back to Nigeria, I'll deal with you. You can't deal with them. They are already gone forever. So that's another issue affecting cyber regulation. Number 7, misuse of geolocation data and neural data non-compliance with data minimization. What is data minimization? Data minimization is that a company must collect the minimum data required for that particular exercise that is being carried out. So if I want to go to bank now, I want to open an account. You ask me, what's my religion? What has my religion got to do with the bank bank account I want to open? So when you say, okay, my house address, probably yes. My telephone, probably yes. My next of kin, probably yes. But by the time you start asking more questions, then it's gone beyond what I want to do with your bank. So a lot of organizations are not complying with what we call data minimization. That you must only collect the minimum, irreducible minimum required for that transaction. If a censor wants to do now, censor can ask for my religion, not a problem. But the bank doesn't have to ask my religion, and most times they ask for it. So because that can be useful for another assignment. Then number 8, unbridled collection of children's and teens data. You know, these are the children that will become big tomorrow now. So a lot of companies, they want to know what's their habit. So they collected their data now. And in some locations, I remember our last born, when he was delivered in the US, and the doctors there, thank God my wife is fast on that day. They say, okay, let's do this DNA tracking. Let's do this. They wanted to do something. But sometimes, those things they collected, in future, when a powerful rich man is sick, and they are looking for a similar blood or whatever, so they already have the data. They already have the data. And their info exists in the world. They can engineer accident to track down somebody in Egypt or track somebody down in wherever in Nigeria or wherever, simply because of one person that's required. So my wife just said, no. The data you collected, that one is enough. This other one, I don't need it. If I need it, I will bring my baby to you. It was when she came out of hospital, you now told me why she did that. So by the time I read more about this subject, I now realized that, well, health is actually where we are most vulnerable in the world is the health sector. And I'll give the facts as we go ahead. So we have quantum computing, collect now, decrypt later. So there is a massive struggle now for data collection, including the one they cannot decrypt now, because they know that quantum computing is coming and the arrival date is given between 5 years to 10 years time. So if you can collect all the data now, even though you cannot break into some, like WhatsApp now, communication, you may not be able to break into it, although some people can still break into it, but there are extremely few intelligent people in state. These are state actors, but non-state actors can't do that now. So, but you can still collect it. When quantum computing comes, you can decrypt it. So we call it collect now, decrypt later. So there is a massive data collection going on now. Number 10, we talk about surveillance capitalism. Surveillance capitalism is now, it's not about who hacks my data. It is about who has legal right to my data that misuse it. You know, there are two different things. Who hack my data, that's a bad guy who just hack into the system. But surveillance capitalism is about who has legal right to my data and misuse it. I'll give you an example. When the strongest Iranian soldier was killed in Iraq, Suleiman, very strong guy, he took aeroplane that place, and they knew when he arrived at the airport. They knew when he entered a car. So in between, the information is already known to some people, whether in the airline or whether from the car. And so when we talk about smart city, driverless car, automated, all those cars that we ride now, they all have gadgets that listens to us. The smart speakers, if we have smart speakers here, it listens to us and it can transmit everything I'm saying. If I abuse Trump, it will transmit it to US. And you spoke somewhere, you abuse us, okay, here you come. So I'm not going to abuse Trump. Okay. So, but Suleiman, information was gotten. Some people, when they were taken out in the hotel in UAE, so you must have logged your information in the hotel, and some people, through the back door, who harvest that information in the hotel, since your name is known, your password is known, and they trace it to your DNA too is known. So when you are checking to the hotel, then the state actors know. When you enter a aeroplane, the state actors know. So may we not sit in the same aeroplane with somebody they are looking for, because they don't mind wasting so many lives for the sake of one target they want to get. So we call that one surveillance capitalism. When you get to the airport is already taking your data without asking for permission from you. That's surveillance capitalism. When you get to this national stadium, it's already taking your picture. As it's taking your picture, it's transmitting it to a database somewhere, either for the state actor that needs it or for corporations that want to profit from it. Either way, that is surveillance capitalism. And it's already existence now, so we cannot run away from it. Number 11, rising consumer awareness in the West. For instance, in California, in 2025, we had 8,000 complaints, and 50% of them are on deletion right, on data protection. That I've told you, a telecom company, delete my number from your system. I'm no more subscribing. But when you tell them that, do they do it? Most times they don't. So in California alone in 2025, we had 8,000 complaints. But why in the West, it is effective is because the penalties are strong and they are obeyed to the letter. You can hardly escape. But in Nigeria, we've heard of situation where a telecom company also was found guilty eventually. Yes, they paid some penalties, but it became political. Okay, if you penalize them, will they die? Okay, people will lose jobs. But again, if our data is not protected, people are also dying by wrong use of data. So which means, as a country, we have to be strict with data regulation. Number 12, the insider risk shift. Insider risk is shifting from malicious intention to mismanagement. In the past, the greatest loophole is insider who is angry with the system. But there is a shift now. It's shifting from people who are angry with the system to people who are incompetent to protect your data. There are more of incompetency in data mismanagement now than malice. About 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when this program was started, it was all about malice. But now it's about incompetence. Number 13, complex and politicized data transfer. And this one concerns Nigeria. For instance, the DOJ, Department of Justice in US, they have a policy, they call it bulk data rule. Bulk data rule means that data cannot be transferred to countries of particular concerns. Which is your country? Are you not from country of particular concern? So that is why, if you go to internet today, you want to do some transactions with some companies that are located in US, it will tell you this facility does not exist in your location. That's where it's coming from. DOJ, Department of Justice, bulk data transfer rule. That when your country is listed as a country of particular concern, we cannot trust our data with you. So there are certain things Ghanaians can do. Nigeria cannot do it. It's coming from that rule. So when Nigeria was tagged as a country of particular concern, we just joke about it. We didn't do much about it. Yeah. Thank you. Now, 2 more slides. Seeking truth from the forest of facts. Number 1, what are the facts that we need to go home with? In terms of average total cost lost to data breach, it is $4.45 million, according to IBM. So the highest region is USA. Per data breach in USA cost them $10.2 million. And the highest sector, which is what the heads have been saying, the highest sector in the world pertaining to data breach cost is healthcare sector. It is $7.2 million yearly, plus at 2025. The sector with the highest data breach is healthcare sector. The country that is most expensive for data breach is US, $10.2 million. But total on the average worldwide is $4.4 million. 94% of organizations globally have experienced data breach from third party. Number 3, only 20% of consumers fully trust organizations to protect their data, according to Cisco. Number 4, 3 to 7 days is the average time to identify and contain a breach in 2023. It takes you 27 days to know that you've been hacked. So it's like somebody who is sick and he doesn't know on time. So for data breach too, it takes a company an average of 327 days to know you've been hacked, that you are sick. But when you apply AI tools, it reduced to 249 days. So for organizations to protect, AI tool automation reduces your vulnerability. 75% of countries worldwide now have data protection agencies and legislation, including Nigeria. Top 3 attack vectors in 2023 include stolen uncompromised credential 19%, phishing 16%, misinformation 15%. Finally here, the total loss to data breach globally or cybercrime globally in 2025 was $10.5 trillion. The conclusion here is that if data cybercrime were to be a country, it would be the 3rd biggest country in the world after America, America is 23 trillion. China, 18 trillion. Cybercrime country, $10.5 trillion. So which means what we are doing here today is very germane and very critical to the survival of humanity. Finally, how do you navigate the road ahead? Number one, know and classify your data. Whoever you want to share your data with, you must know them and you must know what they want to do with your data. That's number one. Number two, implement privacy by design. PBD. If you put privacy in your design from what go as an organization, you'll be more secure. Number three, adopt zero trust, strong access control. In data security, there is what we call zero trust. Zero trust means that I don't trust nothing and I'll verify everything. Because every vulnerability comes from the source you think is trustworthy. So when the state actors want to get an individual, they can use the name of his girlfriend, they can use the name of his mom, or whatever. So, but for you in data protection, trust no one, trust no information, and verify everything. So we call it zero trust. Number five, strengthen incident response and compliant handling. Number six, protect against threats like AI enhanced phishing. Number seven, foster a culture of security and continuous improvement. And number eight, a post-quantum computing era is estimated to arrive between 5 to 10 years. Post-quantum computing shows that we are going to be more vulnerable than we are today. And it's going to arrive between 5 to 10 years. The time to prepare for a post-quantum computing era is today. On this note, I want to thank you so much for listening to me. And I believe what I've shared with you will be of benefit to you. Thank you. I wish all of you a good workshop and a good deliberations. If there are questions, I can take one or two questions before I go. Thank you.
A round of applause for him once again, please. I think he deserves a standing ovation for a paper well presented, please. In fact, may your shadow never grow lesser. Thank you very much. A paper well presented. Yes or no? Yes or no? Thank you very much. Please, let's be seated. Thank you. Let me just quickly recognize the following set of people. First and foremost, let me recognize Mr. Steve Olayinka, Managing Director, Fulayid, FITD. You know, I said that Mr. Tokumbo Smith is a trainer, and incidentally, the chairman of Nigerians of Training and Development is around, Mr. Muhyiddin Abiola Oshodi. And not only him, we also have the vice chairman around, who is an AI specialist. We used to call him the father of AI in Nigeria, Mr. Laja Shoniro. Thank you very much. So without wasting much of our time, we're now moving to the panelists. We have the following set of people that will be on the panelist. Dr. Raphael Akongbe. That's the moderator, yes. A round of applause for him once again, please. Also, we have Dr. Kunle Onodeko. Onokoya. Mrs. Roslyn Ilori. What a man can do, a woman can do better. A round of applause for her as she's going place. You can see her walking majestically. Finally, we have Mr. Justus Osuji. Thank you very much. Those are the panelists. Don't worry, we're still going to recognize the adjoyers. Okay? Don't worry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put our hands together for the wonderful MC. Please, let's put our hands together for him. You've really done a very great job. And without wasting much of our time, we'll be moving straight to the panel session. But before then, the panelists who are seasoned professionals, they have been tested in various ways. And this set of people will be coming around to open our eyes to so many things that we need to know. Because we are talking about World Data Privacy Day. And there are so many things that we need to do. And I was so happy, I was privileged to be under the voice of the last speaker, that is Mr. Tim Akonho, who really digged into so many things that we need to know in the area of data privacy and also in technology. I wouldn't want to repeat on what he has said earlier on. So, while we go straight into the meat of the matter, that is the panel session, my name has already been introduced, but let me quickly introduce the panelists once again so that we know who they are. The first person I will introduce is just next to me here. That is the person of Dr. Kunle Onokoya. Dr. Kunle Onokoya is the CEO of Cedar Crest Hospital and is also a pastor and a business owner. Please, let's put our hands together for him. And he's definitely going to talk to us today based on different areas that we are going to benefit from. The next sitting to him is Mrs. Roslyn Ilori. Please, let's put our hands together for her once again. She is the CEO Bridge 57 Solution, and she's a seasoned technologist. She has a lot of experience, and we are going to benefit from her as well. And last but not the least is one of the, when you hear the word president, you just have to adjust yourself, right? And it's not just the president, it's the president of one of the very strong, outfits in Nigeria. So let's put our hands together as I welcome Mr. Justus Osuji, who is the president of Isaka Lagos branch. Please, let's put our hands together. Yeah, I want to appreciate the convener of this World Data Privacy Day celebration. That is the person of Mr. Tokumbo Smith. I see him as a father. He is my mentor. And I work in health sector. I'm a digital health and health informatics expert. And when you came into the health sector, that is the Ministry of Health, Lagos State. Ministry of Health happened to be the first MDA in Nigeria to be data protection compliant. And it was through his efforts that made the ministry to achieve that, and that has been in the history now. And of course, no one can beat that, history for now. So I want to really appreciate him for bringing everyone of us here together, and we're still going to move more. Thank you very much. So shortly, I'm going to bring up here
Thank you very much, Dr. Rafa. Also, we are blessed. We have the president and chairman of Council of Nigeria Computer Society in our midst, Dr. Mohammed Siraju Aliu. Tarahai Kebusa. So, those students who said you want to study artificial intelligence, computer engineering, you can see the president and commander-in-chief of Nigeria Computer Society. A round of applause for him once again, please.
Thank you very much. Welcome, sir. We truly appreciate your presence in our midst. And just like I was saying, the students are here. You are the future of this generation. And It's really an honor to have you here. And the NYC, the Copper, I know you are launching into, the world to shake your world and to tell them what, the world doesn't know. And I know you are going to really make a lot of effect. And I want to really appreciate the law enforcement agents that are here for this occasion. So, like I said, before we go into the panel session proper, the panelists we have here will have something to discuss with us based on the subject matter that we have come to do here today on World Data Privacy Day. And the first person I'm going to call to the podium here is no other person but one of our very illustrious, and powerful panelists here. That is the person of Dr. Kunle Onokoya. That is the CEO, Cedar Crest Hospital. Please, let's put our hands together for him.
Good morning, all, and thank you so very much for being here. I'll try and cover as broad an area I can in the 5 minutes that I have for this opening bit. In life, if there is one thing that is established and certain and does not need to be proved at all, is the existence of God. And in business, we often say that in God we trust. Everybody else come with your data. The only way you can prove a thing, the only way you can make your point, the only way you can convince others is with data. And I must particularly show gratitude to Mr. Tokumbo Smith. If you will permit me, I fondly call him Bro Stokes, for his consistency on this topic. In 2014, I went to a conference organized by the British Orthopedic Association. By training, I'm an orthopedic surgeon. And one of the sessions at that conference was this very, very strange topic called data privacy. And to a session for which we had all paid big money, the hall was full at the time we started. By the time we finished, there were only about maybe 7 or 8 of us left. And those 8 of us were there, not because we understood what was being said, but more out of curiosity. That what has this got to do with being a successful surgeon? So you can imagine to my surprise when we came back, and less than 2 years later, I was invited to a conference on data privacy. And at that time, this was a totally new terrain. And I think what we are seeing today is 10 years of consistency in that area. One thing that we often see, particularly in the healthcare sector, is that up until very recently, technology follows the needs of man. Technology only moves in the direction that man needs for existence. For example, there was a time that there was a plague that plagued mankind called smallpox. And because of how ravaging that plague was, man was forced to harvest technology and come up with a cure. However, now, man doesn't drive technology anymore. It's technology that now drives man. And if you have been reading the news, about 5 years ago, a Nigerian surgeon working in the States came up with a novel idea that it is possible to bring out a baby from the mother's womb, operate on the baby, and put the baby back in the mother's womb. That doctor's name is Dr. Olutoye. He trained in UCH. Now that he did that novel operation was not the problem. But suddenly, the issue of data then came. When was this child born? Was he born at the time he was brought out of the womb and the surgery was done? Or was he born when the mother finally gave birth to him? And so, at times, technology drives and social engagement follows. But you see, the big problem that technology and data have given to us is that those who need it have seen the age well ahead of those who possess it. And that is part of what Mr. Tim Akao was telling us. We, you and I, are the ones who own the data. But we don't often see it as a personal asset, pretty much as you see your car, or as you see your phone, or as you see other material things that you have. And it is the people who own it, who need it, who often see the advantage of it. And that is why they take advantage. And I will use healthcare as an example. Because you see, in healthcare, we gather data far in excess of what is needed. Far in excess of what is needed. We gather data in the anticipation that we might need it tomorrow. And the thing is that we don't even, well, up until recently, we don't even need your consent to gather it. Because at the time when you give us that data is the time you are very vulnerable. You are ill, you are in pain, you need care. So you hardly question the people who are asking you for how many children you have and the name of your second wife, what they need it for. And very quickly, we in healthcare discover that that information that we have about you is extremely important. Extremely important. The HMOs need it. The HMOs, for them to be able to tell you how much to pay, they want to know that if they gather 140-year-olds, how many of them are likely to have hypertension? How many of them are likely to have diabetes? But you see, at the time they gather that information, you don't know that somebody is going to need it for profit. So this asset that you have, this, and it's about one of the most valuable assets that you have, you give it for free. And those to whom you have given it for free profit from it. But one of the last topic bits that I will end, and I have only about another minute to go, is the responsibility that those who are in possession of your data, they have. One of the issues I had to deal with early last year is that my staff have done what quite a number of you have done in the past, and that is a pre-employment screen. A company had done medical screening for the people it wants to employ. And in the process of that, they discovered that this man was epileptic. And it turns out that the man was going to be employed as a driver. Now, the question then is, we have come in possession of this information. And it is really privileged information because we did this screening for this man. But the man is not yet employed by the company. So even though he's going to work for them, they do not have any right to that information. In fact, the company very foolishly have asked that these people should pay for the medical test. And then if we employ you, we will refund. Why they did that, I don't know. But so suddenly, what do we do with that information? It is privileged. It is a right of the person who owns it. If we divulge that information to the company, then in essence, we have violated this private information that we have. If we don't, then people are going to be put at risk because this man can have an epileptic fit on Third Mainland Bridge. And at times, people who are in possession of data have that conflict between respect for privacy and the public good. How we resolved that, I will not go into it because that is not what I've been asked to come and talk about this morning. But the more important thing is that please see your data as an asset that you have. And even though it is intangible because you cannot always measure it, but I can tell you that those who trade in it for a lot of money. I will stop here. I'm sure we'll have lots of interaction during Q&A.
Thank you very much, Dr. Onokoya. We really appreciate that brief that you have given to us. Please, just a minute.
Good morning once again. I'm sorry to interrupt. The guest speaker will have to leave for somewhere. We quickly want to present him a plaque, and we are having the president of Nigeria Computer Society, Dr. Aliyu. You please give him the plaque. So I welcome the president of my great professional body. And Dr. Onokoya, what you have just said concerning the diverging of information by public and legitimate interest, anybody who has done that is being covered. Legitimately, we cover you under legitimate interest, but through public interest, because you have to inform the public because of the necessity. Third Mainland Bridge, the man had epilepsy, the whole people will collapse. Not only people in the vehicle, but also people coming on Third Mainland Bridge. So we are being protected by public interest.
Okay, hello. Okay, thank you very much. On behalf of the organizer, I would like to use this opportunity to present to our guest speaker this flag on Data and Knowledge Information Privacy Protection Initiative, which is going to be presented to Mr. Tim Akano in an appreciation for your presence and role as the guest speaker at the 2026 World Data Privacy Day and Summit with the theme Privacy in the Age of Emerging Technology, Trust, Ethics, and Innovation, which is held here at NECA. Congratulations.
Please, let's put our hands together. Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Tim Akano. I think he deserves it. Now, I want to quickly call on the podium just for 5 minutes. Mrs. Roslyn Ilori for just 5 minutes talk with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much and good morning, everybody. It's a privilege to be here, stand to do this in 3 to 5 minutes. So We are looking at privacy in the age of emerging technology, trust, ethics, and innovation. So we are talking about, a lot has been said this morning about data privacy, but I'm going to be talking on, from two perspectives. One as data subjects. Data subjects are the owners of the data themselves, you and I, and then the organizations that manage this data. And then we are looking at trust. The keynote speaker spoke a lot about the emerging technologies and all the things that are happening, the opportunities and all of that. But if we look at the end of the day, at the center of it all is what we call digital trust. Can I trust you with my data? So I've come on your platform as Google, as First Bank, as whatever bank, as payment system. Can I trust you with my data? What happens? I was at a bank. I'll give two examples of this, and then I believe you and I can find ourselves in that. I was in one of the top banks in Nigeria. Today is Wednesday. I think it was a Monday. So I went there to replace my ATM card, and I was given this note, a booklet to write and to sign. And I challenged them. Why am I seeing other people's name that come to collect the same card today? You are not keeping my data. That is one of the top banks in Nigeria. Why do I have to see other people's data? It should be private to them, that they are customers of the bank, that they have come to do whatever with the bank, should be kept. It's the responsibility of the bank in this case to keep it. Another encounter I had recently is with a hospital, and doctor is here. Healthcare information is one of the most critical, and I think that was mentioned earlier in the two speeches that were given earlier. I got to this hospital, I took my son, and at some point I was asked to write my name again, to write the name of my son, and because I was using HMO. And I could see the list of all the people that had come there today, what they came for. And I said no. I said, number one, I'm not going to do this, and I need to speak to somebody that is higher than the people at the reception. I said, why am I seeing that Mr. So has come here today to do XYZ in your hospital? I said, if I write this is the same way somebody else is going to see my information that is private to me. And I challenged them. Immediately, they apologized. They promised they were going to change it and all of that. So when it comes to data privacy, we hold that responsibility as the owner of the data to challenge organizations, to challenge people, to know what exactly are you using my data for. So organizations that are represented here today, there is a lot more that we have to do in that regard. You notice when you come into this event, which is quite commendable, thank you, Mr. Smith, nobody asks you to write your name. You scan a QR code and you fill your name. I do not know the name of the person that came just before me. And if you notice, the information that were collected is, it followed strictly what is called the principle of data minimization. Nobody asks for your religion, like one of the speakers said earlier. Only the information that is required for this event is collected. Simple. So please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Smith and the organizers for really, thank you, for not just telling us this, but they are practicing what they are preaching. And I believe each and every one of us will take this knowledge back to our organizations. So, I'm coming from a technology background, so I'm going to be talking more on the digital trust. A lot of our information, the keynote speaker spoke about it. Our information is everywhere, in places that you cannot even imagine. I'll come back to the students later. But you notice that today, a lot is happening at the speed of light. AI, for example, as one of the emerging technologies. The keynote speaker gave us 13 of them. I hope we took notes. I hope we did. AI is one of them, and everybody is talking about AI, this AI. It may not be AI, it may be some sort of technologies tomorrow. But we see things happening at the speed of light. And we are asking, how delicate is this? Before the program actually started, the MC was asking if AI was either good or bad. And we all concluded that it's neither good nor bad. It depends on how we decide to use it. The same way our mobile phones are, they're just neutral. It depends on who is handling it. And it's the same thing with emerging technologies. So as technology accelerates, well, the question we need to ask ourselves is, what about the trust? What is happening with the trust? Can I trust the people? And some data you don't even know that is being collected. I don't want to repeat that because so much was said about that during the keynote. So privacy is no longer a technology problem. Privacy is no longer a legal problem. Privacy is a human problem. It's a human issue that we have to deal with. So it's not because, we have all the gadgets and all the legal terms, we have the governance and all of that. It has become a human-centered thing. And there's no way we can build technology without, if we have to build it effectively, that human will not be at the center of it. It's not about the technologies at the end of the day. We cannot build a future that is driven by technology without human. I know you spoke about, what's the name of that again? I'm trying to remember. But at the same time, the technology we are building, human has to be at the center. Whatever technology we are building, so as an organization, we should not be asking ourselves that, should we build this product? Rather, we should be saying, we should not be saying, can we build this product? We should say, should we build it? Who will be affected? Who are we going to be exposing by doing A, B, C, and A, B, C? So we need to ask, is it morally right or morally incorrect for us to build what we are building, even as we continue to build? And lastly, I hope I've not done beyond 3 minutes. Still. And then to the younger ones, and I'm very happy that you guys are here and we are doing this. Your data is very important. Some 2 years ago, schools, they do what they call yearbooks, where they have the pictures of all the students. They do it every year. I saw from this school. I've not had time to go because I don't have direct relationship with them. On the yearbook, I saw the pictures of the children, phone numbers, their social media handles, and some other critical. And I'm like, for children, this school should be sued. It's one of the big names, if I mentioned. And I said, no, you cannot even do that for adults. How much more for children? So guys, that guy you are chatting with on Discord, how many people use Discord here? If people raise your hand, I know you do. How many people use Discord? How many play Roblox? All of us. We know how we chat. And parents, be careful. You think they are playing games? They are chatting. Because some of these things, they have built all of this inside. And as parents, as adults, we need to know, not because we want to stop them, but we need to understand what is going on. Sometimes a lot of their privacy are explored while they are playing games on Discord, on Roblox, on so many other. Am I not correct? Don't you chat with people on Discord and on Roblox, and then you sell your, what do you call that thing you spend on Roblox? Thank you, Robux. And then somebody can give it to you, and they can ask and they can chat with them. Sometimes people they are chatting with are not children, but they don't know. But they need our guidance. They need us to guide. But if we don't know, how can we teach them? So we need to also upgrade. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for Mrs. Roslyn Ilori again. I'm so happy for the quality of people DKIPPI has brought into this year World Data Privacy Day. Because starting from the beginning up to now, and I believe after now, we're still going to be getting some qualities here. Really, thank you so much once again. Really appreciate that. Without wasting much of our time, I'm going to call on Mr. Justus Osuji, the president of ISACA Lagos, for a 5-minute brief. Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone, once again. I think we have heard a lot from the speakers already, but we have not still heard all. I want to make it a bit practical. We want to log on to your phone now. Many of us use biometrics. Some of us, we scan with our eyes. You speak, the phone recognizes your voice to open the phone. Have we asked ourselves, how can this data be identified, and how are they linked to us? Most times, you enter into a shop. As you're coming in, your data is being captured. You move from this location to another location. Your network provider will tell you, you are now in a 5G activated location. How did you know that you're there? We are all being tracked at every point in time. But the thing is, most of us, we don't know the much information about us that are there online. Even as you are now, you may think that nobody knows you. Have you Googled yourself? You'll be surprised when you Google yourself, the data you see about yourself online. But we always think that nobody knows us. Looking at the devices we use as well, I talked about scanning our eyes and all that. Then, the previous speaker talked about Internet of Things and all that. You can see that at the age we are, all these technologies are being linked. As one is coming, another is coming to enable it. Today we talk of big data. In the previous years, let's say 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, you could have collected all this data we are talking about, but to process it, you may have issues. But today, he talked about quantum technology as well. The more the volume you collect, the easier it is to process. We look at big data today, that even as the devices are being collected, this data can be brought together, analyzed in seconds. For those of us here maybe in security and the likes, you could remember some years ago, maybe if you're doing an investigation, somebody will steal and vanish. And the person will still be existing. The person will still be living life. But today, apart from those that can maybe go and do some modification of their face and all that, somebody can easily be tracked unless you're also intelligent enough to know what to do. That is why, if you look at the cases we are having today, you will see somebody that, I read a few weeks ago, somebody that did something about 12 years ago has been on the run, that was just captured. How did it happen? You may think that maybe you are invisible, but the phone you are using, at every point in time you go, somebody knows where you are. Even you enter Uber, it is your data. It still goes back to link to your phone number. It goes back to link your NIN and all that. Have you also wondered why you go online today? You will buy, maybe, let me just use the simplest example. You buy an exercise book. The next thing, you come back, they recommended to you a pen. It has mastered your lifestyle. It is your lifestyle that is being analyzed. You Google about eye care, about eye problem today. Tomorrow, the internet is suggesting eye drugs for you. All these are the way your data is being monitored. Then let me take it back to those of us in the financial sector. You want to go and take a loan today from a bank, they just pick your, maybe they tell you, give me your BVN. Without your BVN, a lot has been analyzed about you. If you have borrowed somewhere you have not paid, they know. If you're paying, they know. Just single data collected from you, they will link it to so many platforms. Now, the question is, all this data we are collecting, all this data we are submitting willingly and all that, although some of the speakers have mentioned, who monitors what and what they are being used for? Well, I read also some time ago where somebody in Nigeria manipulated somebody in US to commit suicide. All those things are because of the information that was gathered about the person. Then you employ a staff today, just like he gave instance of where the receptionist was collecting data and all that. The person that is collecting that data, how trained is that person? That's where I take it back to our school system. We have several laws. We have the NDPA. We have some regulations also from CBN and some other FCCPC and all that. We have so many of those regulations, but they are lying there. Somebody is coming into the university, even from among the corpers. You are being employed into an organization. You are coming fresh. You don't know anything about what you are being given to do. Why? Because all these things, nobody is teaching anybody the impact of this information we have. You coming today into an organization as a new employee. If the organization doesn't train you about data privacy and all that, you don't know anything about it. So the question is, at what point do we learn these things? At what point do we teach ourselves? We have gotten to the level that these things should not only be limited to when we attend to summits or conferences like this, because it is the integral part of everything we do today. The speaker talked about that what data is today. Everything you do today is about data. But how important, or what's the level of importance we have put on that data we are talking about? Most of us, just like she talked about how she challenged them at the hospital. Many of us will go to the hospital, give them our data freely. They ask for this, we give them. They ask for that, we give them. But what happens when that information enters into a wrong hand? What happens if somebody can just walk into a hospital just to get data about other people's health status? And it happens. You see somebody walk into the hospital, the person, you just go behind just to know what the person came for, because you want to know about that person's health status. And it can still be used, it can be used against that person elsewhere. So in summary, what I'm talking about is, as much as we share data, as much as we think we're interacting, as much as we think that our life is being made easy, we should also be considering the other side of the information we are sharing. And we should also make sure that our privacy is paramount to us. You are the data owner. Any data about you is yours. By law, you are the one that can decide what your data is being used for. So how many of us know about that? How many of us can, do you even know that you can tell an organization that my data with you, I don't want you to keep them again, delete them. Many of us don't know all those things. Your data that is collected by your bank, once you stop banking with them, you can request that they should delete your data. Your data that is collected maybe by your school, although there are some that maybe that cannot be deleted by law, but there are some you can request that this should be deleted. But we don't know most of these things. So the essence of what I'm saying is there should be continuous awareness. For those of us that are hearing, we should be ambassadors of this good message as well, that whatever you're doing, be conscious of the data you're sharing, be conscious of how your data is being used, and also ensure that your next neighbor knows what data is all about and the value of data. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Justus Osuji, for that eye-opening message you just gave to us now. Very soon we'll be going into the panel session. And this session, I want everybody to pay attention. Please don't forget, if you have any question in the course of this event, please do not hesitate to write your question down. And when it's time for questioning and answering, so please try as much as possible to come up and ask your question. So we go into the panel session now, where I have great minds on the panel. And I want to believe strongly that most questions that will be asked today may likely be what some of us in this room have in our mind, and the experts on the on the panel here will be able to, answer it appropriately. So, I'm going to start from my immediate left. That is Dr. Kunle Onokoya. Just like I said before, Dr. Kunle Onokoya is a medical doctor, the CEO of Cedar Crest, is a pastor, and of course, he has so many areas that, he has that capacity to touch. And during this World Data Privacy Day, where we are treating privacy in the age of emerging technology, trust, ethics, and innovation, I believe we are going to learn a lot today. So, Dr. Kunle Onokoya, I really admire your profile. When when we're talking there, I made research of every panelist here. I went to Google each person, and I was so amazed, to see a lot of achievements that these people we have on the panel here have actually, made. So, the first question I'll be asking Dr. Kunle Onokoya is, sir, as a medical doctor, sir, how will emerging technologies impact data subjects within the healthcare industry, particularly in relation to privacy, security, and data rights? So I would like us to really, dig in. Should I come again with the question? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I think so that we can all be on the same page. Data subjects in the context of the question and healthcare will be patients, people who have provided data to the healthcare provider for the sole purposes of care. And as I did say earlier, one thing that we are saying is that technology and the need for data at times far outstrips the regulation that is available, the law that is available to guide it. And to answer your questions, I will give a couple of examples. When you go to a healthcare provider and they take your data, your name, your age, your sex, any past medical history and all that, you have the belief that the information they have taken is solely for the use of those who will take care of you. What you probably don't know is that that person may be sitting in India. Because what technology has allowed us to do now is that there are some specialties that are hard to come by. And the people that are really, really good at it are not many. So let's say, for example, you've done a CT scan or you've done an MRI. And because for all sorts of reasons, the best skills to reach that MRI are in India. So your hospital subscribes to a platform and your MRI, complete with all your details, is posted on that platform. and someone else sitting in Singapore, in India, in China, wherever it is, reads that MRI, has access to all that data, has access to that x-ray that you think you have done at your hospital in Ikeja, and somebody is going to read. And yes, provides some result, interpretation of what is wrong. But nobody has told you that the people that are going to have access to what you have done are remote people, remote third parties that are doing so for a fee. And that happens so easily now. As I say that, I remember about November last year, I was summoned to a big organization that we work for. And they are very, very unhappy because apparently my business development people have subscribed to a tool. And that tool allows us to say, tell us everybody that has been prescribed with this drug. Tell us everybody that has seen this consultant. Tell us everybody that has complained of, in their medical history, have used these words. Tell us everybody that this diagnosis had come up. And they pull all that and send emails to them. And that was based on the fact that a colleague of mine was visiting from Germany. And they wanted to maximize the number of people you see. But when you gave us that data, you gave us solely for the purposes of care, not for the purposes of marketing, not for the purposes of business development. And a lot of the pensioners of that company have then reached out to their medical team and said, look, I have been given this appointment to come and see this person, and I want the company to pay. And the company is saying, but how did they even know? And that is what technology now enables us to do. It's just like what BVN is to the finance sector. We can harbor various touch points of data, aggregate them together, and use them for things that are far remote from healthcare. So, and the data subject, if you are not careful, and if the healthcare provider is not, I imagine, as updated as this kind of gathering seeks to do, then they will do things with your data that technology allows them to do. There is no law that technology is subscribed to, and they can do whatever they like with that data. And okay, I think I'll stop there, and then if there is any further questions, we'll elaborate on that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Onokoya. In fact, you've really, handled it extremely well. We know technology is very, very important, and particularly in healthcare sector. And when it comes to handling data, it has to be done with those people that have the knowledge, just as Dr. have rightly said. And I believe we have really learned one or two things here. So let me quickly go to the next panelist, and that is Mrs. Roslyn Ilori. Mrs. Roslyn Ilori is a tech guru, and she introduced herself there when she came up. And I have this question for you, Ma. Now, as a specialist in tech company, how can emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence be designed and deployed in ways that strengthen public trust while upholding data privacy and ethical governance standards?
Thank you very much for that question. So there are a couple of things that organizations can do to be sure that the data privacy is built into the system. So the first thing is what is called privacy by design. We don't finish designing our products and then we go back after we are done and say, oh, how do we now bring data privacy in? It has to be part of the design from the beginning, from the foundation, so that it's built into it. Organizations know how to do this. Let me shock you. How many people use Netflix here? A lot of us we do. Yeah. There's something called data points in technology. Data points meaning that the kind of information that is collected about you. Can you guess how many data points Netflix collects in 1 minute when you are listening to a song or watching a movie? When you are watching a movie, I'm sorry. Can anybody guess like how many data points, say in 30 seconds? Please, I need 2 volunteers. Just give an idea. How many data points do you think is collected? Sir? 20 million. Not up to that though. Any other person? 160,000 data points in 30 seconds. Just in 30 seconds of engaging with Netflix. So the movement of your head, whether you smile, you see a scene and then you smile, your movement, did you stop after 10 seconds? You know, all those things, they are called data points. 160,000 data points in 30 seconds is collected. That is, in a way, built into the design of that system. So the same way that is built into the design, I mentioned privacy by design, is the same way organizations, people that are building products and services can build privacy into the system from the beginning. That's number 1. Number 2 is accountability. You know, we talk a lot about trust. If I give you something, it's because I don't want to use the word trust again. I'm looking for another word that is not trust. I'm trusting you. Let me just do that. I'm trusting that you will use it well. Thank you. I'm believing that you will use it well. That is accountability. So, when we are talking about building that into the technology, the other part is I spoke about privacy by design, accountability. That I'm giving you, you have to show me, not just by promising me, you have to tell me how you are using my data. There's something called purpose limitation in data protection. Why are you collecting my data? Why should I give you this? Somebody mentioned about a bank asking you about your religion. Why did they need that for crying out loud? So that's 2, accountability. Another thing that is important is engagement with the data subject. This is what we are doing. So we want to build trust. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't build trust on promises. You show it, you demonstrate it that you can trust us with this. So a lot of engagement, stakeholders engagement. The last one I would say is human-centeredness. You know, and I keep saying that technology is not meant to think for us and to decide for us. It's only supposed to help us, to aid in decision making, not to replace us as human. So it's very important that the human-centeredness is built into every system from the word go. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much. I picked that. Technology is not to replace us as human, but to enhance, our activities. And for those people who have been exhibiting fears that, oh, this technology is going to take my job from me. No, I think this is a very big opportunity for us to, equip ourselves more with current technology, and is really going to help us. Age is not a barrier. The convener of this, World Data Privacy Day celebration, Mr. Smith Tokumbo, I respect him a lot. He's a man that is ready to learn anytime, any day. And when he's talking about technology, apart from the data protection where, he's one of the pioneers in this country, right? And let me even say number 1 pioneer in this country. When you're talking about technology, Mr. Smith, I think there's nothing you can say that you can push him aside. Not because he's the convener. I've been relating with him for some years now. So I want to encourage us. I think it is very, very important, just as Mrs. Roslyn have said. Technology is very beautiful, but it's not supposed to create fear in us, but to help us to build ourselves the more. So I'll use this opportunity to go straight to the next panelist. That is the president of ISACA. I just hope you know what ISACA is. If you don't know it, you need to Google it now for you to know how powerful that man that is sitting there is, right? So, Mr. Justus Osuji is not just the president of ISACA, he's also a banker, right? So there's nothing you can tell him about banking industry that he doesn't know. So I'm going to ask him this question. Sir, from a banking and financial services perspective, how can emerging technologies be leveraged to enhance innovation while maintaining customer trust and strict data privacy compliance?
Thank you. I think many of us here, I'm sure there's nobody here that doesn't have bank accounts. Nobody here doesn't have bank accounts. Now, in the banking sector, banks thrive on data. As much as you bring your money, that money may not be useful to us if we don't have data. But it is data that will enable the bank to turn that money over and make decisions to be able to make profit with that money you're bringing. It is data that will enable the bank to know that this is the person that has the cash, this is the person that needs the cash. But that's what banking is. You collect from those that have, make it available to those that don't have. It is data that we need to do that. A few years ago, when fintechs came up newly, we saw how, or let me say, yes, they are fintechs, how they were begging everybody to come and take loan. Even when you are not prepared, you take the loan. If you don't pay, the next, they will send your details to everybody on your contacts. I think we all saw that. Now, with data privacy, the banks or the fintechs are being now forced to innovate responsibly. With data privacy also, the banks and fintechs are being forced to now bring up governance documents and rules that can guide the use of that data. Unlike before that, as much as you want to collect, whatever you want to do, you do with the data. But today, it is no longer like that. That is what data privacy can do for you. Then, also, I talked about the volume of data that is being processed today. Yes, the banks have a lot of data at their disposal. But that you have those data at your disposal also, you need to be able to know, prioritize which data to put any, or to classify your data. That is the impact of. So the banks have learned to classify data appropriately. They have learned to even educate the customers themselves. Because even when you collect customer data, you are mandated now to let the customer know the purpose for which you are collecting that data. If your data is being requested now and you don't know why it's being requested, you have the right to ask, why am I giving you this data? Somebody, the keynote speaker, when he was speaking, he talked about, they were requesting for, he asked them, what do you need this one for? It is your right today. So in as much as we need the data, or any other person that wants your data, needs that data to process information, there is limit to what the data can be used for. You have heard about data minimization. There's also storage minimization, storage limitation, and all that. So even the storage itself, by law, there's data is classified. And in line with that classification, it determines also how long that data can be retained. So it is, even when you don't know today, you should be able to go away from here to know that you can ask questions on what your data is being used for. But just as I mentioned earlier as well, this data is still what the banks need to process the information. And one thing also the banks have also learned to do is, in the process of all this, the banks have also learned how to maximize the use of that data. Because when you don't have anything goes again, then the opportunity you have, you need to maximize it. So for the bank, data is very important for them to make profits. And also, there are regulations that guide the use of that data that make sure that you must use them responsibly. You must innovate responsibly as well. So, one of the panelists here talked about when you are innovating, you innovate with data, with security in mind as well. So, gone are the days, even what we heard earlier how internet was designed without security in mind. Gone are the days when we were coming to retrofit controls. Today, as you're designing, based on the fact that you know the consequence of compromise, you from the beginning, you make sure that controls and everything that you need to do has to be done at the beginning. Then another area also is the area of encryption and maybe cloud computing and all that. Those are all the areas that the banks have improved on in terms of how they use data and how they consider the privacy of data. You don't also today go ahead to maybe collect data, just leave it, or unlike those days, maybe you collect data, just put it on the computer. No. When you collect data today, you must make sure that that data is encrypted both on in transit and when at rest. Make sure that there's encryption. So those are the ways that are affected the banking.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I think when the bank collects data, and he asked question when it first started, as how many of us here, actually, I don't think there's anybody here who doesn't have bank accounts. And of course, banks collect data, and it's so unfortunate, which is also mentioned, that some data that some banks collect, they use it to witch hunt some people. And I thank God for the Nigerian Data Protection Commission. That is for those banks that used to reach out to some people that borrows money, right? And not even people that borrow money, that is the data of the people that are related or close to the to the borrower, right? They go after them and begin to say some manner of things, or manner of ugly things, right? Discrediting the person. And of course, banking system is playing a very vital role in our lives, and of course, the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has really come with a kind of law that is really going to caution these people from doing that. So thank you very much, Mr. Osuji, for your input there. And also, Mrs. Roslin said something about the security, but let me not just waste our time. I'll quickly move down to Dr. Kunle Onokoya. Just during my introduction, I said, Dr. Kunle Onokoya is not just a medical doctor, he's also a pastor. And when you look at our religious system, one of the things that we need to do is to ensure that the worshippers we have around us understand what data privacy is all about. So I'm going to put this question to you, sir. As a pastor, sir, and faith leader, how would you build and sustain the trust of your congregation in ensuring the protection and responsible handling of their personal data?
Thank you, sir. Well, I think by full disclosure, I'm a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. And church and church interaction with data, I would say, has completely changed in the last few years. When my parents went to church, you were completely anonymous to the church. And you can come and go and nobody knows. Well, maybe if you belong to a society, you are YMCA or you are a bishop, then at least they will have your address so that They can come and visit you on the day of the meeting. But that is all. Otherwise, you are completely anonymous. But now, the church interacts with data and data gathering at a much more sophisticated level. In my church, about 40% of the congregation is online. And I will imagine that some of those are online because they've traveled, because it's not convenient for them to be in church physically on that day. But I suspect that some of them are people I, as the pastor, have never met before because they have just found it convenient to attend church online. But you see, to attend, there is your electronic signature at the time that you log in. Some are a bit more anonymous than others. For example, if you log into some of the platforms, all we can see is the number of people that have logged in. But some are much more revealing because not only can we see the number, we can see you, we can see your name. And in this day, once we know your name, really, we know you. Because the odds are that you will have some social media footprint. And we can then find out what are your likes, where do you work, do you like an early morning service, will you like a late afternoon? We can find out so much more about you just by seeing your name attending a service on Zoom. The matter is even much more complex than that because a lot of people now do financial interaction with their church electronically. So suddenly, the church also now has your bank details. They have your bank account. They have your bank. If the church wants to be unscrupulous, they also have an idea of your income. So the next time there is a building project or there is a special project, they know who to target. Just by the fact that you have paid an offering online. To make the matters worse, because of the diversity in the congregation of a church, only a handful will be tech savvy or data privacy savvy. The rest come fully believing that after all, this is church, so no harm is going to come to me, not to talk of my data. They don't even know. Anyway, so the onus is now suddenly on the church, not only to respect the data that it had come in possession of, but to also, whether these people are ignorant or not, to also let them know. So in my church, if you attend church for the first time, for example, we collect data. Some people will send prayer points. So suddenly, the church also now has access to what are your concerns, where are you struggling, what are you dealing with. And at the time you gave that, you gave it solely, ostensibly, that somebody somewhere will pray for you. But now the church knows so much more than that. And I think where trust can be built is for the church to go out of its way to actively seek your consent, to let you know that the data you gave to us, for example, come next Saturday, even though you have given us your data, we are going out on visiting. It's our visiting Saturday. So please don't be offended if we come visiting you. Don't think we have abused your data. So that announcement is made. On the form that you have filled to give that announcement, to give those information, there is also a bit of a disclaimer that says that if you don't want anyone else to access this information, please say so. If you don't want us to visit you, please say so. And that then gets people thinking that, oh, okay, so this information is actually much more useful than me just giving them my name, email, and phone number. And I think it is when the church is intentional about respecting the data that is in its possession and also going out of its way to let the people know that, yes, we are in possession of your data. This is what we will do with it. And if we need to do more than this, then we will get your consent. That helps to build the kind of trust that is necessary. But Otherwise, I think if the church is not intentional and focused on that, then abuse of data privacy is inevitable. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. You see, Dr. Onokoya is, talking as a pastor, and also, although also this is also applicable to the Islam, right? Because I know that the same thing that we're talking about, also happen in Islam, where those people that wants to really contribute to build mosque or something like that, they ask them to maybe to pay through electronic channels and stuff like that. So, and through that, the personal data, the financial data of some people can be easily accessed. And of course, this information that Dr. Nokoya just gave is to educate us, to make us understand that we still have some level of rights when it comes to sharing our data in the religious circle. And this is very interesting. Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate that. I'll be going to please let's put our hands together, please. Even as a moderator here, I'm learning a lot. I've said it earlier on that the caliber of people we have up here, they are extremely seasoned in their areas of expertise, and I'm so happy that I'm among them here. So, Mrs. Roslin, you are not just a tech person. When it comes to data governance, and stuff like that, you are also, an expert in this area. And I'm going to just ask you this question. What governance frameworks and accountability mechanisms are most effective in ensuring that innovation in artificial intelligence and digital technologies does not compromise individual privacy rights, and societal value?
Thank you very much for that question. So, is a responsibility, from the governance perspective, one as organization and then as the public sector. The first thing is in the area of awareness, and I think Mr. Smith has done, he has done a whole lot that some of us are still looking up to. One day we'll get there, So number one is in the terms of awareness, which is one of the things we are doing today, so that people are aware. So it's not just about dropping regulations, bringing the act, this must be this. If people do not know, it will become very difficult. The other part is continuous monitoring. So let me speak first on the side of the organization. So as a company, we have built a product. Oh, it's fantastic. Everything is going on well. We don't just walk away from it and say we have done it. Continuous monitoring, continuous evaluation, is critical. Things are changing daily, so there has to be that continuous monitoring, continuous evaluation. If there is anything to be changed, it's changed immediately, and that cycle just continue with evaluation, with monitoring, with making changes and things like that. The other part of it that is very critical is stakeholders engagement. So not just the data subjects in this case, but all the different stakeholders that are involved. How do we engage them? Yes, the acts, the regulations, and all of it may be there, but it's very important that there's proper stakeholder engagement at the different levels on the people that are responsible for the data that is being released. And lastly is, so I mentioned awareness, education actually. In terms of responsiveness, are we ensuring that the technology that we are using, that we are bringing, we are building that responsiveness into it, that we are actually taking responsibility of that? So that's also another point that is very important in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Please, let's put our hands together. You see, governance is very, very important when we're talking about technology, AI, and what have you. So, and Mrs. Roslin, have dealt, with that. And of course, when we're talking about data governance, it is very important that the government is a rules, regulation is put in place, just like we have in NDPC, that is going to guide people to make each individual to be responsible for every data, that we have. So thank you so much again for that. And I will go to the president of ISACA. That's the person of Mr. Justus Osuji in just 2 minutes, because we are, going to be rounding up this. Now, sir, from an ISACA and information system governance standpoint, how do you establish frameworks support ethical technology adoption and effective privacy risk management in an era of rapid digital transformation? Did you get a question, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right, thank you.
Okay. From the perspective of ISACA, I would say ISACA is one of the pioneer organizations anyway that brought, that talked about governance. We have two major frameworks for IT, which is GoBit from ISACA, and we have ITIL. So ISACA has already taken governance very serious from the beginning to make sure that everything we do in technology is being regulated, and they have governance to make sure that we don't just go rogue in the use of data. Then recently also we have had some other regulations that have come up. Just we are talking about the acts now, like we have in Nigeria, we have the Nigerian Data Protection Act. So all these are, even as ISACA also, ISACA also has a certification also now for data protection as well. So that tells you how serious they take protection of the data. And in all this, there have been several say seminars, lectures, and all that for members of ISACA and the general public. There have been awareness and a lot being done by ISACA to make sure that data is being regulated properly. Most of the organizations today have what we call DPUs, Data Protection Officers. The ISACA CDPSE is one of the qualifications for that, and we also have the CDPO from the IIM that also these are certifications for data privacy. So from the perspective of ISACA, it is a very serious case. There are frameworks that organizations have been encouraged to adopt. And many organizations actually, for instance, if you come to banks in Nigeria, come to telcos in Nigeria, all of them have domesticated these frameworks to guide their own processes. Most of these frameworks are developed in such a way that organizations can localize them to their own operations. That's how they are being developed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for Mr. Osuji. And we are really, enlightened with that information that you've just given. We would have really loved to continue with this, but because of our time, and we don't want to keep our audience waiting. And in summary of what we have just talked, earlier, starting from Dr. Nokoya, Mrs. Roslin, and Mr. Osuji, what we, the summary of the whole thing is that it is very important that, we are all aware of the importance of data protection, both in healthcare industry, in the area of technology, in banking industry. We need to have that understanding. I'm so happy that these children are here, and I'm sure that, this is an era where children can even start teaching their parents based on their exposure, of this kind of information that is being disseminated from this platform. So I want to really appreciate our great panelists. Yes. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I know that we have some questions from the audience, so please, over to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for the moderator and the panelists. They have actually done a very wonderful job. Now, we are now under question and answer, contributions, and what have you. We have actually done this thing in a way that is not going to be rowdy. I've gone round, I've been able to pick two people from each role. Please, don't be annoyed if you are not, but you can put your question in writing. You can send it to the moderator or to the convener of this program. So, role one now. I have two people. First and foremost, I have Mr. Steve Olayinka, FITD. A round of applause for him, please. And the second person on that role is Pastor Dakbo Awoshika. So, Mr. Dakbo Awoshika, please stand up for recognition, please. Okay. Please. Question, contributions, and what have you. A round of applause for him as he's coming to the... That's another guru in IT.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Well done for a job well done. I just want to ask, I see the owners of this is sitting on the data subject. That is you and I that are sitting in the hall, and a whole lot of others out there. Businesses need data. So when they engage us, or when we contact them, or when we interact with them, they demand for the data. And whether we understand or we don't, we give the data. And at the end of the day, the pressure is on us that they are using this data against our wish, not only against our wish, but also in their financial interest. So this is putting an alarm in our head. It's making us to get disturbed. The regulations, the rules, they are there. But businesses still go ahead and do this. What do you think is our recourse in a situation like this? The information have been released, and of course it is giving us some concerns. What can we do? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just take the two questions. Okay.
Thank you for the...
This, okay, you... Which response? Pastor Awoshika, please. Pastor Dapo Awoshika, please. A round of applause for him, please, as he's coming. The second row should be getting ready. Immediately, they've done justice to the first question.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm almost saying, praise the Lord. I'm sorry. Because when they say somebody is a guru in IT, I'm also a guru in the faith. Amen. I want to appreciate someone I'd like to call Leader Smith. Please, you permit that nomenclature. Because of what he has done in this special area of data policy. He gave us the privilege when I was in service about 3 or 4 years ago to display our banner here. And after we have done that, and I don't know if 1 or 2 persons would like to be careful after this conference today. We were able to make contact and got information from some people innocently. And you know, I was working in a financial institution then. And so thereafter, we thought, oh, this was opportunity for us to have client. And so we sent information to them as to some of our product. And now it can be of immense benefit to them. Lo and behold, one of them called us back and was asking which of the court I would like to appear in. I said, sir, we only told you about product. It is not a question. He said, where did you get my information? You know, and I was being careful not to say at this conference about 3 years ago, so that that Smith also will not be a witness in the court. So, but indirectly, I got the name of the man and I called him quietly. I said, sir, it's like we have gotten into trouble. I called one of the participants at your program, and he has threatened to sue us that we must divulge how we got his information. And I think it was then I started getting a bit more careful. That it's not going to be business as usual, you know, any longer. And so I want to thank him very much for opening our eyes to this. But I want to also thank you so very much, sir. And also, list my question precisely, and I want to appreciate every of the panelists, Mrs. Iloria and Adiabra, and Dr. Nokoya, who also happens to be a very close friend. But I want to ask this question, because he happens to one of my friends who lived outside of this country, and I was so surprised that it became a court case. I want to ask, what is the place of culture in data policy? You know, our culture is such that we don't come back from court and become friends. You know, and I don't expect you also, if we are attending the same mosque or the same church, you now take me to court because I violated your policy. Because one of my friends, they dropped their flyer in somebody's pigeon, in somebody's box for their program. Apparently it wasn't his own church, but another church that was under him. And the person went to court, and they wrote my friend that he should appear in court, precisely in the US. And he said he appeared, that they will have locked him up, if not because he had to come with documents to show that it wasn't his own church precisely, just dropping a flyer. So what is the place of culture? And I drop a flyer at your doorstep, and you take me to court in this 21st century Nigeria that you are looking for money to eat. So what is the place of culture in data policy? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor Sir. I think in as the whole issue of data privacy is one of global standards. And what global standard prescribed is what happened to that gentleman. However, you can be sensitive to the prevailing local culture, but not at the expense of violating or breaking what is accepted best practice. I had an experience similar to that several years ago. We were sharing flyers, and we went to an estate, and we were told clearly that in this estate you cannot share flyers. But there was a vendor at the gate of the estate. So we gave the vendor some money and gave him our flyers. And he put the flyers in the newspapers, and we left. We thought we had done evangelism. The next time when we came back, immediately the vendor cited us. He called somebody. And it happened that the legal officer of one of the newspapers lived in that estate. And they had come to arrest the vendor. Because as far as the newspaper was concerned, they were projecting information that is not part of their image. Because after all, they sell to people of different faith. So this poor vendor had gone through a lot of things. And as soon as we appeared in that estate, he called that man. And that man appeared. And thank God for God who helped us. We too will have ended up in court. And it was a serious matter. He says we have violated their space by providing information suggesting that they were the owners of that information. So while we have to be sensitive to, and our culture is permissive, and as Pastor said, our culture says we cannot go to court and come back and be friends. So if I still want to be friends with you, I will not take you to court. And our culture allows that even if I want to take you to court, your grand uncle and your mother's aunt probably went to, there are various layers that will prevail. But I think what we must not lose sight of is what we are talking about, the whole idea of data privacy. And if you look at that thing, it doesn't say Nigerian Data Privacy Day or Yoruba Data Privacy Day. It says World Data Privacy Day. So there is a prescribed global best practice. And unfortunately, we must subscribe to that. Thank you.
So let me respond to the first question. No, let me also put a caveat. We are not trying to raise alarm. So we are not trying to raise alarm. However, if you feel that your data has been compromised or has been misused by the what we call them data processors or data controllers, those are the people that you give your data to. If you feel that they have mismanaged it, I think the first step you should take is approach them to have a discussion with them to see if you can amicably resolve it with them. But where that is not possible, NDPC is there for you to escalate the case to. Like the law also requires you to escalate to NDPC matters of data compromise in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mr. Justus. Roll 2. I have Dr. Salahuddin from Ministry of Health. A round of applause for him, please. Immediately after Dr. Salahuddin, Mrs. Ajayi from PSSDC should be getting ready. Doctor, please. He's a medical doctor. Yes, I'm talking to you. A round of applause for him, please. To shock you is one of the early bird. Okay, oh, sorry. He said he's from Lagos State Scholarship Board. Oh, sorry.
Standing on the existing protocol, I just want to find out how can one understand that his data is leaked, aside giving the answer that when the data is breached, this is what one can do. How can one understand that the data is breached? His data is breached.
Okay, Mrs. Ajayi, please. A round of applause for her, please.
I'm standing on the existing protocol. I really appreciate the organizer of this program. Thank you so much. And I even thank the organizer for the privilege of being here. My question is that one question, then I want to buttress what they have been saying. Please, when we are saying data protection, data protection, data privacy, please, there is no much awareness on it. Because like 2 weeks ago, I was discussing with somebody, then the person was telling me, what do I understand by that? I said, well, in order not to put ourselves into problem or jeopardize whatever we are doing, there must be a data privacy. They said, please, whoa, this is the 21st century technology. They are just bringing here and there. Please, I think they have to clarify this thing. People should know about this data privacy. Thank you, sir. Then my question, when we are saying data privacy, what does it have impact upon those people that they have direct somebody on something like what Madam just said? in terms of people that will get loan, and they will go dampu into all the contact on that person's line, and they will be, even though you get loan, I didn't know the time you get loan, I'm not your referee or guarantor, and now they are now calling me that somebody obtain loan from them, I should come and do this, I should come and that. I believe there is a data privacy. They shouldn't have gone to that extent. Please, what are we going to do about that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So on the issue of how do we even know if our data is being misused? A lot of the times, and the truth is, we may never know a lot of them that has been misused. But there are so many other ways where we can know. It's not so common here yet, but with time, we'll see that happening on in this side of the world. Last year, there's a lot of data breaches that happened in the US, in the UK, in Europe, where they will say that, oh, this particular hospital was hacked, and the data of the data subject was compromised. A lot of them, see a lot of news on that last year. So if you are a customer or you have anything to do with such organization, and you see in the news that, oh, the data on this with this organization has been compromised, so you know that, oh, something has happened to my data. That's one way we should know. Another way we can know is, from general knowledge. And the another one was what I think Dr. Awoshika, if I get it correctly, mentioned. You went somewhere and then somebody is just calling you and say that we want to sell this to you. At that point your data has been compromised. So there is no hard and fast rule to say this is how you will know, or there's a tool or whatever. But what is very important is we try as much as possible to protect ourselves. And then when we see all those things, and somebody comes, or you see your some information about you in a way that you know that this should be personal, but you're seeing it in the public, or somebody is calling your attention to it, you know that there is a problem. Then on the people that are calling contact, I got such calls to when they will tell you somebody has collected loan and all of that. I think the government has stepped in. If you notice, that has gone down drastically. They dealt with them, the FCCPC, the Consumer Protection. They have dealt a lot with that, and that has drastically reduced. And that, of course, is a violation of the data privacy of people, and the government has really stepped in to stop that. Thank you.
The third role, we have Mr. Oluwaseun Apollorin from NSDC. A round of applause for him, please. And also we have Mr. Adewale Adesina, NCS Chairman, Lagos State Branch. Is he around? Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. First, I'd like to appreciate the protocol and also stand on already established protocol. I also want to appreciate the panelists and the moderator, as well as other stakeholders who are already participating in this laudable event. Though I bring you greetings from our dear State Commandant, Mr. Adidos Sunday Keshiro, the State Commandant of NSCDC in Lagos. Be that as it may, I want to contribute and also ask direct questions that affect my agency when it comes to data privacy protection. Yeah, my contribution largely is that we have seen some other sectors also invite security agencies to help kind of facilitate with them and also know about what they really do. For example, those in the fintech, they have as an association called AMBAN. I mean, the Money Point and all of those people. And many a times, their challenge is always the issue of awareness. And they bring security agencies who they believe can help them implement some of these laws so that the operators can be compliant. All right. So bringing that to data privacy protection, you discover that the law is the act establishing it is recently done. I think Mr. Tokumbo Smith also said that June 2023, thereabout, at June 12, and June 12 connotes something in Nigeria anyway. However, if you look at when the data privacy protection really began in the history, you discover that probably is early 19th century. Okay, so between that time that the European Commission on this protection came about that law, and when Nigeria now woke up to it in just 2023, you discover that it is not going to be an issue of litigation. That's what we agencies used to tell establishments like these that are coming up with their laws. Litigation will not work. A law of 2023, you need much more of sensitization, even up to a decade. How many times have the operators come together with security agencies to sensitize us about their law and take us out to different places where they need to sensitize people for them to know? Before you now have the onus, the local standing, to say somebody misused, abused, or abridged your data, and the next thing you want to do is you want to sue. And that's why I go with that man that asked the question on culture. Even in international environment, there is international culture. Culture is important. What is not practicable in Nigeria, you cannot go and bring it from one America and say because you had that experience here, you want to now come and do this. In fact, the community will fight you. All right? Because this is a community. Now, sensitization is very key. And I would want everybody here, because a lot of people may not come up to speak, but they are in this sector, to kind of replicate what this organizer is doing here and see how we can sensitize the general populace. Not even just the general populace. I was talking with my colleague there. Even security agencies that you want to work with also need to be sensitized. Like, we need to be taught on how to undo some of these things to be able to know where to come in. That is on that part. My question is this. If you look at the celebration today in the world that has to do with prioritizing, privacy protection by design, all right, you discover that one of the key things, one of the key elements there is security. Apart from securing, the using biometrics or the old processes, the life cycle, whatever you do, whether it's AI or you computerize any program or any product, you cannot wish away physical security in ensuring that, one, these policies are known, two, we have a good understanding, and we can also help in implementation at the end of the day when infractions are made. And when the moderator was also asking his questions, you took advantage of the fact that the Dr. Nokoya is also a pastor, and you asked a question that has to do with religion. Now, religion is a big thing, especially in this part of the world. Like, we have it all over the world. And he did a very good justice to that question, to let us know that we have rights not to release some information, even though it's congregational. Am I correct? But he did not ask anything that has to do with security. We are also here to learn. So that will now make me to ask my question, if I'm permitted. Now, for civil defense, for example, one of our core mandates, like we have so many other mandates, is protection of critical national assets and infrastructure. And the first asset is the human being, not even the transformers, the telecommunications, and the rest of that. If the human being is not there as an asset, you cannot talk about using this other social, economic well-being for yourself. So, right now we have developed an application to be able to get all the vulnerability risk assessment of all the assets and infrastructure in the country at our own level. But we need partnership. What is this body on digitization, data privacy protection doing to be able to help Nigeria and NSCDC, okay, to get stock of assets and infrastructure in Nigeria, and also to be able to manage them, especially from vandalism? That is one. We have a very critical sector under our act that gives us the opportunity to coordinate safe school protection in Nigeria. And thank God our children are here. Now, one of the things that are very important on the item on the web developed by NSCDC, but a joint coordinating web which empowers NSCDC and all other agencies to be on it. So if there's any insecurity going on or there's any alarm raised, the nearest police station, the nearest army barrack, the nearest, whichever agency is nearest, can react to it. However, we do the control from Abuja and we all get the information. As we speak, we have the total number of all the schools in Nigeria, both public and private, up to tertiary institution. And we have done their risk assessment in terms of perimeter fencing and the rest of that. Yes, we do have perimeter fencing and the rest of that. As a matter of fact, I have also been part of teams, okay, selected by the Lagos State Command under this commandant to also do an estimated costing of 5 years, minimum of 5 years, for several NGOs in Lagos State that will be taken to the House of Assembly for legislation, okay, on how to cost for school safety in Lagos State. And today, all of those programs that we have done last year, LASUBEB in Lagos for primary school took it further to adopt some of those things and also brought some of us who did those suggestions to come and talk about them, which I participated, I think, January 15 or thereabout. So now, going back to my question, sir. Now, for this Safe School initiative, if you go to the app, you see items that will show where we have need for security, such as perimeter fencing. If there is there patrol? If there is not, you itemize them. Now, some of these communities may not know that this data are being collected by NSCDC, and we don't collect them to hurt or to harm them. It's for their good, and we have our own intelligent way of gathering our information and profiling before we respond. Okay, so in the guise of implementing our role in the country and fulfilling our mandate, how can we properly guard our data so that they will not be, intruded by some other people who are trying to attack or something like that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambolo. That's another presentation. Another round of applause for you once again, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very explicit and very detailed. I'll take it from the back. So as security agencies, you are our government. What you are doing is in the interest of the populace. So when you look at the different principles of data protection, one that speaks to what you are talking about is the principle of public interest. So there is also, I will speak about the public interest first, then I will talk about the legitimate interest. For public interest, in this case, you are not collecting this data because you just want to use it for financial gains. But in this case, for you to protect us as a people. So, as government agencies, as security agency, that's exempt. So you can collect those data based on that principle of public interest, without anybody coming back and say, hey, why did you collect it? They cannot do that because what you are doing is in public interest. So please be rest assured, when it comes to data privacy, you are covered as government agencies because you are doing that. And whatever that may be other agencies, but you are doing that in the interest of the public. So you are covered. And so somebody cannot come up and say that, oh, you collected this, and no, that will not happen. Another example is if we look at the police, for example. So if there is a criminal, so somebody works in an office and they are doing an investigation, and the company, they come to the company and the company releases the data of such person for that purpose, that person cannot sue the company because that was done in public interest. So as long as we're able to establish that. So of course we are talking a lot about protecting our data and all of that. But there are some, I would call them like exceptions in this case because it's done in public. There are other ones, legitimate interest, for example. Doctor is here. Somebody is in coma or somebody needs to be treated. A life needs to be saved at a point. It's not at the time that you'll be saying, please, should we do this? Person cannot even talk. So they will do that in the interest of saving that life first. And that person cannot wake up and say, why did you do this when I was in coma? Because it was done in the interest of saving that life, whatever is related to that. So please, and I'm very happy that you raised that question. That is very important. Yes, we are talking about data protection, but there are some other areas where things have to be done whether or not we give our consent. Thank you very much for that, sir.
But I want to add to what she just said. Based on this response she gave, I wish Mr. Smith, when he's doing this next time, bring in people also from the legal, maybe judges and others, so that, because what she said now, if a case like this goes to court, and they might not know what legitimate interest is. So I think it's good also we have them. Then I also want to tell our law enforcement agents here, because of from the question you were asking, you're also looking for maybe how you can be supported in what you are doing and all that. Fine. Some time ago, there was this man that used to work in Lagos here, a policeman. So he was handling investigations here. We had that contact then that each time he was doing sensitive things that he needed support, we used to give him support. So I would say, in terms of technology and all that, if there's any support you need from us as ISACA Lagos, we can talk on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and really it's been very interesting. I think the president, DKI BPI, wants to say something. All right.
Good afternoon once again. Mr. Bolori, I know you are very, very intelligent. We've met so many times. I just want you to know one thing now. When you are talking about data, we need to qualify data. That's what we call personal data. That's what we call business data. info@nsdc.gov.ng is not a personal data. It's a business data. But nobody can be identified within NSDC by that. But Abolori at nsdc.gov.ng is a personal data because you can be identified. Now, we're also talking about why I said that Nigeria Data Protection Commission is purely for personal data. National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, that is the body that involves framework of IT and everything. Then we also have another commission that just about a year or 2 years ago, you may not know about it, but the president of Nigeria Computer Society and co will know about it. We have what we call National Center for Artificial and Intelligence Agency. So, for partnership, you go to NIDA and NCRA, that is National Center for Artificial Intelligence Agency. Those two people, those two agencies can do a lot. But when it comes to personal data, you go to Nigeria Data Protection Commission. Now, coming back to your question, if you know the number of people here, I asked to get me the database of people who register. Some people register, they are not here. Some people are online. If each, just like you now, you go back to your organization today, what you have been taught here, what you have learned here, what you have been opportune to know, go and retrain them. You don't need to put all the PowerPoints of this world into play. I've been to your NSSD several times. I will see you doing a lot of training here and there. Chipping this into those training, and that will create awareness. Awareness is not supposed to be Nigeria Data Protection Commission, we want to do this, we want to do that. When you get to a marketplace, those of you seated there, we have Nigeria Data Protection Act in Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa language now. Go to marketplace, talk to an ordinary man or an ordinary market woman, explain what data protection is all about. That is awareness. If you are waiting for organization to do it, we are just joking. The student, school children are here, they get back to their respective homes, talk to their parents, their colleagues, their friends. That is raising awareness. If that will be our focus this year, before the end of this year, I can assure you a lot of people will know about data privacy and everything. So awareness is not going to be created by coming here every time or going online. But that, the purpose of bringing everybody here is to create awareness for the people here, and the people here will go outside again and create awareness. That is the way we can do it. So for partnership, go to NIDA, go to NCLEAR. Don't wait for. We also partner with Nigeria Data Protection because that is our own area of specialization, and we do a lot of things together. So for I advise you go to NIDA. NIDA has an office in Ikoyi here. What is the name? Where you have this Lego something. It's a popular street in Ikoyi. I've forgotten now. Where Kofu Abayomi, they have or Google and look for their address at Kofu Abayomi. Get to them, they will communicate with Abuja, and you can do a lot of things with them. I also want to appreciate what NSDC has done in respect of apps we have developed and so many things. We will also want to partner with you. So many times we've written to you that we want to give you free lecture, but nothing has been done. So if you come here and say we should have not done anything, Federal Road Safety, 2014, I organized a free lecture for them, 2014. Why? I wanted to renew my driving license, and they told me go to that kiosk to go and put down your details. I said, why should I go to kiosk? You want to collect my personal data? The kiosk, the touts are there. I said, I won't do it. And that I went to meet the state, Bamai. It was just like a prayer like you. I said, is that so? I said, I want to give you free lecture on on data protection, 2014. And that was how we organized twice. Free lectures for them. So we are ready to come to organization to organize free lectures for you. That is awareness. But when we come, make sure you are ready. Not that we come in and we will not see people to lecture. It's applicable to all the paramilitary, police, and everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for him, please. The last but not, please go straight to your question. Adam Mohammed. That is the Adjoya in our midst. We are still going to know them properly.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Mahmoud, and I'm standing here today representing, I studied microbiology. I'm standing here today representing my fellow corps members from Ikejawan local government and also my LGI Abu Sedi. Thank you. I don't have any question.
Okay.
Okay. The question. Okay. My question is there an incident response plan to a person that his or her data has been breached? Yes. Okay. The question is there an a response plan to an incident, like, or is there a response plan to someone who the person data has been breached, whether him or her? Like an easy response plan. Just imagine maybe I'm someone that my data has been breached and I'm from Lagos. Just rushing down to Ikeja to come and report the cases.
Okay, thank you. Yes, there is. When an organization discovers that data of a data subject has been breached, the onus is on that organization to, first of all, stop the impact of the damage as much as possible they can. Stop whatever that can cause damage to that subject. Then Depending on the level or the severity, you contact the data subject to tell the data subject what has happened, so that they will also take their own precaution. Then you also contact NDPC. So there are levels to it. So there's a response plan to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sirs. Really appreciate the contributions, and I want to believe that the audience really have a swell time today. So I want to really appreciate the panelists, Dr. Kunle Onokoya, Mrs. Roslyn, and Mr. Osuji. We really appreciate your the knowledge you have disseminated this afternoon. Thank you so much, and I want to believe that by next year it's going to be much more greater than this. Thank you so much once again.
We want to leave this place within the next few minutes, so we have to rush now. So we want to appreciate the moderator and the panelists. So in the process, I need a lady to come and hand over this. Anybody from ISACA? ISACA is the #1 global. When Elijah, okay, I can see her. Elijah, ISACA, director. Has he gone? She was sitting here somehow. Okay. Where is that? Any former board members from ISACA here? ISACA? Okay, he's coming. ISACA is a global association from America. We have 4 chapters in Nigeria: Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, and Port Harcourt. Okay. Paul, you are welcome. And I'm also a certified data protection with ISACA, Global ISACA. I'm a certified person. So, and I recognize them a lot because we do a lot of things. And they also gave me recognition award. When was that, my president? 2 years ago? Okay. So, I want to call on this so that we appreciate you. Please come in. So, Elijah, come. I've been looking for you. Elijah is a gold member of ISACA. We have the bronze, silver. He's a gold member. It's not party now. So he will present. Okay. Elijah works with Lagos State Lagos State Ministry. Is a director there. Okay. So Elijah, you help us distribute to them the 4 from the moderator and the 3 panelists.
Okay. Sorry, this is for Dr. Raphael Akongbe. In appreciation for your presence and role as the moderator at the 2026 World Data Privacy Day and Summit with the theme, Privacy in the Age of Emerging Technology, Trust, Ethics, and Innovation, held at Necker House. We want to appreciate you for your contribution. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mrs. Roslyn Ilori. In appreciation for your presence and role as a panelist at the 2026 World Data Privacy Day and Summit with the theme Privacy in the Age of Emerging Technology, Trust, Ethics, and Innovation, held at Necker House today, we really want to appreciate you. Thank you. Dr. Olakunle Onokoya.
In appreciation for your presence and role as a panelist at the 2026 World Data Privacy Day and Summit with the theme Privacy in the Age of Emerging Technology, Trust, Ethics, and Innovation, held today at NECA House. Really want to appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. This is to my president, Mr. Justus Osuji. In appreciation of your presence and role as a panelist at the 2026 World Data Privacy Day and Summit with the theme Privacy in the Age of Emerging Technology, Trust, Ethics, and Innovation, held at NECA House, Lagos today, I want to appreciate you and thank you for all you do for ISECA Lagos.
Somebody said we should train judges and lawyers. ISACA is already organizing for judges and lawyers, maybe by next year, of which I'm also a panelist.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for that, please. Let me just quickly recognize the following sort of people before we go to good news message. Let me recognize the past president of Nigerian Computer Society, Mr. Chris Nwanena. A round of applause for him, please. Also, let me recognize the two past chairmen of Niger Lagos State Branch, Dr. Oyatope, FITD. And also we have in our midst the past chairman of Niger Lagos State Branch, Mr. Benson Haruno. You are welcome.
Because of the time, we want to quickly, the schools, we want to recognize the schools now. No. Let's start from here. Third position.
Third position goes to Hihe Nama Divine from Tip Tops College, Magodo.
The teacher is around, come and take picture.
Second position, Adedeji Victor, International School, Lagos. Adedeji Victor. Please. Adedeji Victor, yes, I've called you. First thing, okay. The first position, Esther. It's with you, sir. Behind you, sir. Great destination, first position, Bagada. For the school. Please come and snap with the president. The second position, Unilag. Second position, international school, Unilag. That's for the school. Join. Tip tops. Magudu. Tip top. Third. Tip tops. Yes. Additional rejoice in recognition of exhibition of your poetry skill. Additional joy, rejoice.
In a world of wires and glowing screens, where data flows like silent stream, every click, each tap you make, leaves a trail that does not shake. Names and numbers, faces and files, stored in clouds that stretch for miles. Not locked in chests, not sealed in stones, but floating freely. Ha! Widely known. Your birthday whisper to a form. Yet strong. In the hands of against them privacy guarded does. The privacy protect your keys, your names, your codes. Don't trade them for monetary fare. For once it's shared, it's rarely free. Don't think before you post. Don't give it all away. Your secrets are yours. Protect them every day. The web remembers even when you forget. A mistake today can turn to regret. So think. Be smart, stay aware. Digital world demands our care. In bytes and bits, let this be true. Guide your data, it guides you too. Data and Knowledge Information Privacy Protection Initiative cares about the way you protect your data. And I am Additional Rejoice from Ibron College, Mowe.
Another round of applause for her once again, please. Fantastic presentation. The porter from Ijebubo. The porter from Ijebubo. Oru Ijebu. Okay. I know. Please, I said you know. The porter.
Make sure it's in their what they have achieved last year. And also Lagos State Health College, the both of you have submitted the names of the two presidents, and already they will invite you to Abuja. Okay. So Lagos State Health Technology. For Lagos State, you have a gift inside. You want we had a quiz competition in our office today. So they came from our office to this place. So, and we are also giving them, apart from the bag and other things, we have present inside the gift. Because of time, we cannot continue to showcase. Thank you.
The early birds should come and start with the president. The first 10 to arrive, Mr. Salawuddin, the early birds come and snap with the president. The first 10 to arrive. In fact, this man happens to be the first person. For medals, please. Mrs. Ajayi, please come to this. Medals. Mr. Jacobs, we need medals. What of Balogun? Adelawa, is she there? William Sulaiman, Titilayo OI, Christopher. That's supposed to be 10. Ayomide. It remains 3 more people. We are the ladies from schools online. Oyindamola, Omotuyi Oyindamola, Oyindamola, please join them.
The Electronics Marketers Association of Nigeria. We are here to support and also congratulate our Director General, Tokumbo Smith, for keeping up this ceremony every year. We want to support him and we want to thank him for being part of our association and as our Director General. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ewang. And the